What's up, Hedgehog Maniacs and Doki Fanatics? SideX17 here. I am back with another Doki Doki Literature Club fan mod. The one I'm about to do this time is called Poems of Death. I'm not sure what this mod's gonna bring, but all I know is that it said on Reddit that there was a death of one of the Dokis, and two of them witnessed it, and they gotta find clues on who really did, or else they will get caught. But this is only a demo. Let's see what this brings. Time to dive in, and let's do it to it. Poems of Death demo is a work of fiction. Any similarities to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. Trust, but verify. Ronald Reagan. Huh? Wait a minute. I think I know some of them, anyway. Top left of them, see Chad. On the right is female variation of MC. The one with the green bit of hair is Tina, from what I believe. The one next to her is the MC that I'm more familiar with in the other mods I've done. And I see Monica above. This is giving me an ominous... Oh, don't put the name in. We need to meet up. That was an SMS I got yesterday, not yesterday night. Huh? One of that is MC's perspective. And that's the reason why I'm sitting in this restaurant. The restaurant looks modern, yet it retained its old age. I guess it's been renovated not long ago. There are not a lot of customers around, probably because it's a work day around noon. But it's probably for the better. The menu offers a standard range of meals and some coffees. I noticed that their price is higher than average. I sip for my espresso as I look at the time on my phone. Talk about professionalism as she can't even come up on time. I don't have to wait long before the small bell signaling on arrival makes me look at the door. A woman steps into the restaurant, wearing some casual clothing. She's probably in her early 20s, but with the ribbon in her hair, she might just be 15. Wait, is that Monica? Okay, she isn't that late. She's carrying a small pocket notebook in her hand. As she looks around the restaurant, when she notices me, she smiles and goes to my table. Wait a minute. Sayurika? That's a combination of Monica and Sayuri.
Am I speaking to Madeline Castle?
So we're in the perspective of Madeline Castle. I don't know what's this version of MC. And you are?
Stephanie Barr! I'm the journalist who wrote you a message about the documentary last night.
Huh. Documentary? Nitor presents. I look at her. At closer inspection, I notice a card on her belt displaying her information. After reading the card, I was sure she was what she was claiming to be. And in that case, yes, you are.
That's good, but...
She sits on the other chair that's on the other side and places the notebook on the table. Can I ask? Why me? The reporter, or Mrs. Fawn, stops while opening her notebook. She thinks about an answer for a while.
I figured we might safest bet to contact.
Why safest?
Because the other survivors were to talk to me.
I nodded and let the discussion be. I disagree with that opinion, but that's not the reason why we're here. After the reporter watches me for a few seconds, she sighs.
Look, I understand it was hard, but it was a hard time for everyone involved. I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
I think there's no point in postponing it. I'm ready to talk about it. Huh? Poems of death. Remember, this is just a demo. It says March 12th, 2018 on a Monday. The hallway is filled with students as most head for the front door of the school. The pass, rather, as they say. Others head other directions, some to pick up their friends. Late ones go into the locker room to change their boots. Some odd ones head entirely the opposite direction from the front door. I am one of them. I'm in the process of hiding my bubblegum in my pocket when I leave my last classroom. Students are also gossiping and spreading rumors like usual. I just learned to completely ignore them. They're mostly useless information anyway. I head directly to the stairs and step through the crowds to the third floor. When I'm on the right floor, I turn to the right and continue down the hallway. When I arrive at the right door, I notice a new sign right above the door. It's a beige color sign with 6 ribbons hanging from it. They're green, blue, purple, pink, red, and yellow. In the middle of the sign is a beautifully written text, the Literature Club. I smile upon the door and open the door. I smile upon the sign and open the door. So we're still in Madeleine's perspective. Hello, everyone. 3 pairs of eyes look up from their usual activities. They all smile and arrive at my arrival. 3 pairs of eyes. I think I know which 3 there might be. What's up, Monica?
Hello, Madeline. How was your day?
It could have been better, but nothing I couldn't handle. Yours?
That wasn't anything special as well.
Before Monica could continue, a tune spreads across the room. Monica looks surprised to hear it.
Sorry. I have to take this. Give me a second, alright?
No problem, Monica. Monica is smiling at me as she goes to the teacher's desk, phone next to her ear. Before I can do anything else, I get approached by another big, shiny smile. Sayuri!
Hi, Madeline.
Sayuri, how was your day?
It's also really fun.
Wait, is this school supposed to be boring? Teachers only talk and bore us with homework.
School's only for the people who start talk, Madeline.
Alright. Tell me, Sayuri. Why was it fun? Man, I didn't really see this angry expression from Sayuri until before I clicked. But anyway.
We're the education teacher, Mr. Evans. He showed us different kinds of experiments and that was awesome.
And the rest of the day?
She's just a pessimist, meanie.
Hey! Oh, come on! I'm only joking, Sayuri. I'm sure you had a great day.
Yeah.
Sayuri's smile falls as she looks at the closet, then at me. Huh?
Madeline? Lasky wanted to talk to you.
My face also falls as I look at the closet. Some manga is on the floor, placed on each other next to the shelves. What about?
She didn't tell me.
Whoa, what the hell happened? Alright, it'll just be a second. Sayuri flashes me a sad smile before going to a desk, taking a pencil and beginning to draw on a sheet of paper. I place my bag to my usual spot and go over to the closet. I hear a shifting of different boxes as I get close to the closet door. When I peek inside, Natsuki is standing on a chair, reaching for a pink box. Hey. Oh boy. Natsuki stops almost immediately and looks at the source of the voice. After staring at me for a second, she signs.
Hey.
Awkward silence fills the closet as I try to come up with something to say. Alright. What is it?
What are you talking about?
You want to talk to me. What about? Natsuki steps down from the chair and steps towards me.
I'm sorry for lashing out at you.
Again?
What did you say?
You know how many times I hear that? How many? Oh, I didn't. Oh, Natsuki's got that expression now. You know how many times did I hear that? A lot, actually. It started to annoy me.
Well, just because I can't hold myself sometimes doesn't mean that you can be a jerk about it.
And you did just again. Natsuki composes herself and breathes in and out. She then steps again on the chair and starts to organize the shelf again. I sign and take out my bubblegum. I take one piece out and look at Natsuki. She doesn't even look at me. I'm sorry too. I should have put it that way. But you get me, right? Natsuki still ignores me as she puts a manga into a box. I recognize the series we used to read. Parfait Girls. You know...
You what?
Oh. Manga suddenly shouts at the whole room. We both turn around to see what caused the commotion. Manga is near the teacher's desk, still having that phone call. As she looks at all of us, she lightly blushes and chuckles with embarrassment.
Sorry, everyone.
Oh boy. Manga then turns around and continues with her phone call and whispers. I can still recognize that they're angry. Oh man. I avert my attention back to Natsuki, who is continuing to organize in the shelf. I go next to Natsuki and place a bubblegum on the same shelf where she currently has eyes. Natsuki stops and looks at it. By the way, I'm still willing to help out if you would need it. Just give me a call, alright? With that, I smile towards her and leave the closet. Sayuri is currently putting a pencil down as I approach the middle of the room. She notices me and goes to me.
How did it go?
Yeah, it wasn't the best, but could have been worse.
Look, I'm sorry for what happened between you two. I just wish...
I interrupt her by going to her and putting my hands on her shoulders. Sayuri, that's already behind us, so please, don't worry about it, alright?
Alright.
That phone call should have been a warning for me that something wasn't right with Monika's personal life. Huh?
You did not suspect anything at the time?
Well, of course, there were some suspicions, but none were backed with evidence, so I dropped them.
And do you wish you did something with it?
No, it wasn't my business back then. It was only a problem when some bad stuff went down.
You mean when you witnessed Monika's murder?
Yes. We both sit in silence as I look down. When I finally come up with something to speak about, our phone starts to ring. The reporter groans as she pulls out her phone and declines the call.
That's the fourth time this number calls.
Her eyebrows frown as she puts her phone back in her pocket.
I'm sorry about that, Mr. Castle.
It's fine.
So, what happened afterward?
Well, you can see I got a call from someone I was expecting for a while. Huh? Huh, see Yuri in there. Huh. So, what book are we going to discuss this month, Monica? We gathered in the middle of the room, where Monica holds a bag in her hand with a greenish book sticking out of it.
Well, I got this book recommended by a friend of mine. But I don't know if it's too complicated for some people. Yeah, Monica, that's still here? Of course, Natsuki, I know. That's why I'm cautious about it. What do you mean by that?
Well, if you don't know, what book is it? Then we'll never know if it will be complicated. I cut Monica off before she could respond and placed a hand on Natsuki's shoulder, gently squeezing it. Natsuki quickly nods in my direction before breathing in and out.
I guess that's true, Bella.
Monica hesitates for a while before she takes out one of the books.
It is Craig Spring, by Simon Moore.
She holds it out in front of the group for us to see. The cover features simplistic art of a bridge above some kind of water with a rising sun in the background. The title, like Monica said, was Craig Spring, written in white text.
Ooh! What's it about?
While Sayuri asks Monica a question, Yuri takes the book in her hand and starts listening through it. Sorry.
It is a historical novel about four people deeply surprised about the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia in 1968. At least, that's what they told. That's what was told to me.
Natsuki doesn't look happy that this book was chosen.
Since we were discussing politics in the literature club.
Some politics are involved. Just from reading through it. But it doesn't seem to share one single opinion. One character is even a socialist. That kind of socialist that was in the Soviet Union at the time.
If I'm where you know this information?
It is mentioned at the beginning of the book, Natsuki. Natsuki, defeated, takes the book gently from Yuri's hands and starts listening to it too. After a few seconds, she closes it again and returns it to Yuri.
There's no way I'm reading that!
Why not? It does seem interesting, and it sounds like something you like.
Really? And I thought you knew me after the few months we've known each other.
Nah, we already discussed this. Why don't you just, I don't know, give it a chance at least? Natsuki crosses her hands as she looks at the expecting faces.
Natsuki, please! Alright, I'll try it. But manga has to read a manga of my choosing.
Why her?
Because it was her idea.
That doesn't make any sense. Before I can finish my sentence, my phone starts to ring. I take out my phone and look at it. I'll have to go.
What? Why? You only been here for a few minutes.
I have to pick up my twin sister at the train station. I forgot to tell you about it. I'm sorry. Oh, he's got a twin sister. I quickly grab my backpack and get ready to leave. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Later. Bye-bye.
Before I venture myself out of the club room, I lean slowly to Natsuki's ear. Call me how it went, alright?
Yeah, bye.
With that, I leave the classroom and accept the call that's been waiting for a while.
Hey,
Hi, I'm going to the train station now. When you will be there?
in around 30 minutes. If the train doesn't hit a tree somewhere.
Alright then, I'll be waiting. With that, I end the call and continue down the hallway. So we're at the train station then. Alright. The train brakes squeak. Trains brakes squeak. As they are trying to stop the train. The silver body of the train is sending sunlight beams into my face. I cover my vision a bit as a response. When the train stops, its doors open and people start to come out. One by one, they leave the train and venture into the world. I'm leaning against a slope, trying to catch a glimpse of my family relative. Finally, I spot that someone coming out. Hector Heterochromia is recognizable in the crowd for miles. Sorry if I couldn't pronounce that right. She's carrying a large bag on her back, together with black luggage in her hand. I stand still as she steps out completely of the train, and the train continues to its next destination. It takes her a while before she notices me and comes to me. She has
My full name.
Faith. I don't think it's necessary.
I said my full name.
I quietly sigh to myself before I continue. Do you think I would forget your name after the 9 months we haven't seen each other? Before Faith can speak out again, I comply with her demand. Faith, Marianne Castle.
And what was our dog's name and favorite toy?
Squirt, and his favorite toy was a tennis ball. Faith carefully puts down her luggage and her bag on the ground and looks at me. Then she steps forward one step, then another step, slowly treating me like a face that can be easily broken. When she approaches me fully, she puts her hands around me and signs.
You know that I only need to be sure that's you.
I smile and hug her back, ruffling her hair with my left hand. You can always count on me that I'll be there if you need it. We stay in the hug for a good minute before we separate.
Where's your place?
A walk here usually takes me about 30 minutes. If you want to take a walk, that is. Faith looks away, her thoughts running through her face. Is she still not trusting me? Faith looks at me after a few seconds and signs.
Alright.
Faith, I know it's difficult, but...
Not here. Not here, Milan. Some asshole may be eavesdropping on us.
Alright, later then. Do you want me to take the luggage? Faith looks at her luggage and then at me a few times.
Yeah, you can.
I smile to myself as I grab the black luggage on the ground and together take this off the ground and together take the stairs out of the train station. Have a good day, sir. Thanks. We both smile at each other as the cashier receives the money I gave her as I hold the small box of black raspberries I bought. After our exchange, I turn around and start walking towards my neighborhood. When I arrive into my neighborhood, I spot multiple people waiting before my house. Some cameramen are also standing nearby. I also notice 2 news vans in front of my house. Great. More reporters. My eyebrows frown as I get close to them. Eventually they notice me, grab their microphones and come walking to me. Mr. Castle, can you tell us how did you react to the conviction of Mason Aston? Wait. Which one was Mason? I sigh as my eyebrows clash with each other even more. I won't offer any comments on that. Now, if you excuse me. I go to the reporters as they try to ask me more questions. I ignore them as I open the garden door and close them quickly behind. The noise of the questions is persistent as the cameraman raised the camera over the fence. I just shake my head and enter the house in disgust. Sheesh. Freaking reporters! Take off my shoes and put them next to 2 other pairs of shoes. When I come into the kitchen, my nose catches the smell of scrambled eggs frying on a pan. Next to the table was sitting a girl, watching the eggs fry. Her left hand was leaning against the table, supporting the head. She was sitting there in a businesslike attire, her feet tapping the ground. That looks like Tina! That is Tina! Memories of nothing! I wonder if there's a different name. I place the box of black raspberries on the table as I come to the girl. Her wave of green hair then looks at me. Yeah, it is Tina. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Melon.
Tina again looks down, her eyes facing the ground. I put the box of black raspberries on the table when I notice something slightly weird. Where's Faith?
Still sleeping. She stayed awake all night again.
Tina then suddenly raises her head and looks at me.
I thought you'd still be with that reporter that messaged you.
She had to leave early for some odd reason.
Yeah, odd.
Tina stands up and starts moving with her scrambled eggs. I take the opportunity to grab the box of black raspberries and come to Tina. I place my right hand around her, raised and moved the box around the counter to her eyesight. I bought you something. Tina looks down at the box. When she recognizes what's in the box, she smiles, opens it, and takes out 1 black raspberry. When she puts it in her mouth, she quietly hums and closes her eyes.
Those are great, Melon. Thanks.
You're welcome. I let go of Tina as she places another black raspberry into her mouth. Faith stayed all night again. Did she continue with at least someone should have been awake in one moment thing?
She told me she was waiting for me to wake up to even think about sleeping. So, yeah.
I sigh and look down at the floor. God dang it! I open one of the drawers and take out a small glass. I open another drawer and take out a bottle. The sunlight coming from the windows reveals the brown liquid inside it. The label proudly says, Jack Daniels. I pop the whiskey open and pour myself a glass, and then place the bottle back into the drawer and close it.
Don't blame her. I still didn't recover from the night as much as I would like.
I'm not blaming her. It's just that she lost all progress since October in just a few days, and it's still not recovering. I raise my glass and sip from it. The bitter taste of the whiskey pours over my mouth before I swallow it. She's even worse than when she arrived. When we arrived here.
And what was it like then?
I slowly look at the ground and then sign. I suppose I could tell you about it. Getting more interesting by the minute. The digital clock ticks midnight as I lie in bed. I'm covering my face with my pillow as I try to go to sleep. How do I deal with fate? If I don't come up with a good way on how to help her, I'll probably go insane. Maybe the internet will help me. I take my phone from the nightstand next to my bed and turn it on. I'm at the beginning of reading a random article when I hear some shuffling in the hallway. What the hell was that? I do my blanket out of myself and sit down, listening closely. It happened again. What the hell is going on? Is someone in the house, or is it just Faith? I'm pretty sure that she would be asleep by now. It can't be her. If I want to venture there, I need to have something to protect myself. That's a good idea. You never know who it might be. I stand up and quietly go over to my closet and open it. After a while of searching, I close it again, not being able to find anything. I come to my desk and open up the desk's drawers. Nothing. The shuffling happened again, but now it was closer to my bedroom than before. Just as I want to search elsewhere, I spot a white mug lying on the table. Well, better than nothing, I guess. I grab the mug and come quietly to the door, listening closely. The shuffler seems to have gone away from my bedroom. I encourage myself and slowly open the door, ready to strike. When I enter the hallway, I find something or someone I wasn't really expecting. Faye was inspecting the door at the end of the hallway, trying to push it open. She tries for a while before she sighs with a sense of relief.
Okay, that one is safe.
Faith? Faith is startled by my voice as she points a flashlight at me. I didn't notice before. I covered my eyes in response. Jesus, Faith! Why are you up so late?
And what are you?
Couldn't sleep for some reason, but it doesn't excuse you roaming around, checking random doors.
You don't know how many freaks are so stupid to have an idea to rob someone's house at night.
Faith, this is one of the safest neighborhoods around. You don't need to worry about that. I think you should worry more about getting enough sleep for school. So stop and go to sleep. Faith has started roaming around her head. After a while, she looks at me with a cold look.
Alright, fine. I'll do that. Just like you want.
Faith then goes around into her room and loudly closes the door. That didn't begin well. I scratch my head as I return to my room, closing the door silently.
Well, I mean, I'm used to do it too, so I kind of understand where she's coming from.
But you lived in a different environment. This was, and still is, one of the safest neighborhoods around. She had no other reason.
Yeah, true.
As Tina comes to the counter and starts to prepare her scrambled eggs, I finish my glass of whiskey. Monica's father got convicted. What did he get? Oh. I don't know what to say. Tina's eyebrows frown as she puts her food on a plate, placing the pan into the sink.
He got told a life sentence. They didn't have the balls to put him down to the death penalty.
Oh.
Don't be sorry about that. It is what we expected after all. And it's at least something.
I nod in agreement and look at the table. On the table was lying an open pack of cigarettes, together with a Zippo. I come to pick up the pack and look for the brand. Heh, the usual. What else? You know that you should probably stop smoking.
Heh, says the guy who drinks underage.
If someone doesn't catch me, then I'm completely fine.
But you'll not be fine if I expose that ass of yours.
So what you are proposing is that I keep on drinking while you keep on smoking?
That's the mallet I know.
Oh man. But I do not like what they're doing, but sometimes, anyway. The kitchen erupts into healthy laughter. After a while, we stop as I pick up a black raspberry of my own. That's when Tina signs and comes to me.
I'll be honest, I almost did quit. But then the crappy night happened.
Too much stress to care?
If you take that excuse as foul, then yeah.
An idea pops into my head as I take Tina's hand into mine. What if we relive some of it?
Oh, do you want me today?
Come on, don't tell me you don't need it. Tina giggles as she steps even closer, her body touching mine.
Alright then, what are you proposing?
I smile as I extend my hand and reach for her scrambled eggs. What if I fed you? As Tina bursts out laughing, I can't help but join in on the laughter too. What is going on inside your head, you idiot?
You think I don't have my own hands?
Well, I didn't want to taste the smell of cigarettes again, so this was my last resort.
Oh, quit it, will ya?
Tina punches me gently into my arm as I pull out a chair to sit on. Should we start? Tina smiles as she sits on a chair.
Of course. Bring it on.
The past. As the sun rises in the morning, both me and Faith are already in the school's courtyard, waiting for the day to start. Backpack in hand, I turn towards Faith. With narrow eyes, she is looking around on the building. Faith? She averts her eyes from the building and looks at me.
Yeah?
I place my bag on the ground and come to Faith, placing my hands on her shoulders. Listen, if you have any trouble, just call me, alright? Faith now narrows her eyes on me, feeling quite suspicious. Was that too much?
Do you think I can't handle it on my own?
No, I don't think that. I release Faith's shoulder and step back. I just want to be sure that you're safe. That's all. Faith signs and adjusts her own backpack.
I think you shouldn't worry so much.
Sorry.
I think you shouldn't worry so much. I know what I'm doing.
I look down in a slight disappointment, then I breathe in and out and slightly nod. All right. Your hand on your own. Got it? Just call if you want. Okay?
Okay, I will.
Promise? Faith raises her eyebrows after I say that. After a while, she smiles and nods.
Promise.
The bell rings, signaling the end of the first class. Alright, students, don't forget your assignments. With that, the teacher quickly It was a female teacher. I wasn't sure it was a male or female. Kind of got that wrong. With that, the teacher quickly gathers her stuff and leaves the classroom, leaving the other students behind. I hide my things in my bag and stand up. When I see Fate come up to me, I smile to myself.
You didn't tell me that the classes are so boring here.
Did you honestly expect something else?
Well, not really. Should we go?
Yeah, we should. Half the class is already out as Fate takes her bag and we head towards the door. Hey, idiot! Uh-oh. Was that on me? I stop and turn around. There's still a couple students chattering their things into their bags. But I don't see anyone looking at me or even want to speak to me. Who said that? Oh, it was Tina.
Yeah. What do you want now?
When I hear another girl's voice, that's when I realize that the insult was directed at her. Uh-oh. First time I've seen that one. Oh boy, things are getting heated. And I recognize that Tina look from Memories of Nothing. Another student approaches her with an angry expression. I don't recognize the brown hair one, but I recognize the one with the green wave of hair. That's Tina. We don't really talk much. We have a few classes together. Sometimes we get partnered on a project. She can be nice, but I still remember how she compared me to a pile of dog crap. Ouch. Other than that, she is really nice. Does her part of work efficiently, almost without any questions. When she does ask, it's usually just me being dumb. She does get sometimes in trouble, but always seems to get away with small punishments at worst. I wonder why.
We need to talk, Tina.
Both me and Fate look at each other with raised eyebrows. She knows as much as I do.
Oh, really? Then, at first, you should stop being an idiot yourself, River.
Oh, so her name was River.
And plus, I need to go to my next class. We'll talk later. Since when do you give a crap about classes? Since the time I decided to live a more normal life here, now I need to go.
Tina grabs her bag and heads for the front door, ignoring River.
You can't just avoid the goddamn problem anymore, Tina. It needs to be resolved right here, right now.
Oh crap, this is gonna get bad. Tina stops in the middle of her track as she turns around, more angry than before.
You know what? Stop that right here, right now. Bull crap up your ass and leave me alone. Take that right here, right now, bull crap up your ass and leave me alone.
Uh-oh.
You do realize, Tina, that all that crap you've done will come crashing down on you, right?
As River says that, she slowly comes to Tina, her face just a few centimeters from Tina's. Tina then threateningly raises her index finger as she speaks up in a powerful, quiet voice.
I don't have time for your bull crap. You little freaking drat. I have places to go. So you shut up or I'll do it myself.
Silence fills the room as the other student left in the room, including me and Fate, stare at them. River doesn't say anything as Tina puts her finger down and turns again to the front door. This time she left with her eyes on the floor, tightly holding the bag strap.
Little freaking threat, huh?
Uh-oh. Grifo says something under her breath and also leaves.
What is that about?
Fate leans towards me and says that quietly into my ear. I don't know, but we should really go. With that, we leave the classroom and head our ways. As I hold the plate of scrambled eggs in the air, I take out a piece out of the eggs with a spoon. Before I can continue with feeding Tina, she suddenly laughs out loud. What? You don't like it?
Well, it's true that I hate myself for agreeing to this.
Aw, it's Tina, Hood. Do you need a kiss on your boo-boo? Okay, I can't believe I just said it like that. Anyway.
You're just looking for any excuse to kiss me, aren't you? Aren't you?
Well, if that person is you, why not?
Even if I was a corpse?
Tina snickers as she notices my obvious red face. Alright, your decision then? I return the favor by starting to eat the scrambled eggs off the plate.
You're trying to angry with that, right?
What else? I respond with my mouth full as I take another piece out with a spoon. Tia then shrugs and goes over to open the drawers, taking out the whiskey bottle. Uh-oh. She lets go of the bottle and then smashes it on the ground, spilling the whiskey and shards the glass around. Seriously?
That's what you get for being an asshole.
I sigh as I place the spoon on the plate on the table. Yeah, guess you're right. Before we can do anything else, I hear running sounds from the second floor.
What the hell was that?
I don't know. As we come closer to the noise, we hear the running noises coming from the stairs. Seconds later, we see Fate rushing down, her M1911 in hand. She have a gun?
You okay? What was that sound?
That was us. Sorry. Fate's eyebrows frown as she lowers her gun.
Are you freaking kidding me? We're sorry, alright? Yeah, sure. Were you too busy licking your throats again?
Of course not. Tina just broke a glass bottle, that's all. Fate then looks into the kitchen and signs.
Yeah, whatever.
She then hides her gun behind her back and adjusts her outfit. How was your sleep?
It wasn't the worst.
Fate then goes around me into the kitchen.
For God's sake, it has to be the best one. Crap!
You owe me for that bottle, understood?
Alright, but you're making me breakfast tomorrow.
Heh, you don't even have to ask. So we continue on back in the past. Finally, lunch. I close my notebook with a sigh as a smile forms on my face. I gather all my stuff into my bag and leave the classroom in a hurry. Most students head for the school cafeteria to buy lunch. Since I already kind of have lunch, I head for the courtyard. It takes a few seconds before I get through the crowd and open the door. The cold wind breezes my face as I get out of the building. Little dandelions growing in the grass as bees occupy them. Birds are singing their songs of spring as some of them fly from trees around into the sky. Most of the students are eating their lunches on the wooden benches. Some just wander around or read, waiting for an upcoming class. I pull out my phone and search for my contacts. Then I settle on one and open the messaging app. I type out a message and send it. How classes have been going. 3 gray circles are flashing in the corner as she types out a response.
Did I clarify? Did I clearly tell you to stop worrying so much?
Alright, I'll stop. But still, how have they been? Fate spends a fair bit of time before sending a reply.
As I said, boring. In fact, did I tell you this earlier?
Maybe?
And stop asking questions you know the answer to.
I smile upon that message and slip my phone back into my pocket. When I look around for a free bench, I spot someone from earlier. Tina is sitting on one of the benches, looking at the ground in deep thought, drinking from a metal bottle. My mind goes back to the argument in the classroom as I look at her. If she did something, then what would it be? Does it even matter? Probably not. With no one else, I really want to really sit. I go to her. Hey, Tina. I break Tina out of her train of thought as she looks up.
Oh, hey.
Tina looks back at the ground and sips from her drink. An awkward silence grows between us as I stand there, not really knowing what to do. Until Tina sighs and looks at me again.
Afraid I'm going to eat you or what?
Well, getting punches is something on my to-do list today.
And standing is?
Not really.
Then pleasure yourself. I can use your company.
With that conversation over, I sit down as Tina returns to her drink. I open my backpack and take out a cheeseburger I prepared for lunch. Burger. After looking at it for several seconds, I flinch. That looks terrible. I'm not eating that. I'm not that hungry anyway. I throw the cheeseburger into the nearby trash can and close my bag. I then look at the bottle Tina is drinking from. What do you have in there? Tina looks at me and then at the bottle. After a few seconds, she smokes and moves the bottle into my direction.
Want to try it out?
Sure. I hesitantly take the bottle and look into it. Some kind of a bronze substance. Tea, maybe? I look at Tina. She has an excellent look on her face, awaiting my response. In compliance, I bring the bottle to my lips and sip. The bitter taste immediately proves me wrong. With raised eyebrows, I take a look at the bottle again and then look at Tina. With a smirk, I place the bottle between us. I'll be honest. You're clever for hiding that beer on campus like that. She smiles as she picks up the bottle again and sips from it.
Right? Then I can always pretend it's tea, and no one suspects crap.
You're right on that. After a few seconds of silence, Tina sighs and leans her back against the bench.
Mallet, look.
Yeah?
I don't apologize for my behavior that often. But that's just who I am, but I'm sorry for the argument back there. It was just stupid of River to bring up personal stuff there.
Is she always that stupid?
She can ruin my day pretty quickly. But she is effective when she focuses on something she wants.
We sit in silence for a moment before I speak up. Don't feel bad about it. Tina looks at me with her eyebrows raised.
Really?
Yeah. You just defended yourself. Nobody said you can't do that.
Thanks.
Tina forms a smile as she looks in the distance. That smile drops after a while.
Mallory, I'm only doing it for your own safety, alright? But please, stay away from me.
My mouth drops as I quickly look at her pained expression. What? Why? Tina looks at the ground and then stands up, looking into my eyes.
I will not just hold myself together anymore if I know that I hurt you by my actions in any way. I'm really sorry that I had come to this. I really am.
Before I can react, Tina turns around and starts walking away. Tina, wait! Tina ignores my call and leaves the courtyard, getting out of sight in the school. Crap! Something is definitely going on behind the scenes. But what? Do I even want to know? With nothing better to do, I take my backpack and head in an entirely different direction into the school, heading for my next classes. Man, what was that all about? Tina claps to herself after cleaning the remainder of the glass.
Finally, done.
Faith is currently eating cereal with milk as she looks at the floor, clear and shiny as ever.
At least something.
The asshole still didn't wake up properly?
Knock that sarcasm of yours, please. Knock out that sarcasm of yours, please. That whiskey was good. And you didn't even finish it.
Oh, boo-hoo.
We're all assholes sometimes, so keep it cool, alright? If you let me finish my cereal, I'll be really happy.
Silence falls as Faith quietly eats her cereal. When she finishes, her eyebrows frown.
I'm still hungry.
She stands up and takes out a key from her pocket. She then unlocks the cover and takes out a cereal box and a new box of milk. Before she can do anything else, the bell starts to ring.
Who the hell's that?
Tina looks out of the window.
Reporters. Again? That's the third time they rang today. They even woke me up, assholes.
She hides her cereal box and her milk into the cupboard and goes out of the kitchen.
You know you could just ignore them. I'm not going to ignore people who screwed up my already crappy day.
She gets her boots on and leaves the house. That's not going to be good. We both get up and get outside as well.
Sorry, people, but I very much ask you to leave us at this house alone.
Faith is standing in front of the fence while the reporters are trying to record her. We're not on private property. You can't tell us what we can and what we can't do.
I do not freaking care about that. I advise you to leave.
Mrs. Castle, can you tell us about your reaction to Mason Aston's eviction? Faith turns to a reporter that asked a question. She was sticking the microphone right into Faith's mouth.
Oh, you care about that, huh? Well, let me ask you one thing.
Reporters are stunned when Faith takes out her gun and points it at the ground. Whoa! Reporters flinch at the gunshot. Faith doesn't stop looking at them.
How about you get out of here before I shoot your freaking heads off?
The reporters quickly look at each other, then scramble to their cars in a sitcom kind of way. Some even tripping just to get to them. Some of the wheels squeak as they ride off into the dead city. An embarrassing quiet spreads in the garden as Faith goes back into our house.
Assistant freaking airheads!
Oh crap!
Wanna go on a walk?
Yeah, sure. I'll I'll just go tell Faith. I head inside, and after a minute, come out. We head out into the city. So we're back in the Literature Club. Oh man. The door swings open as I enter. The usual greeting erupts. The club members quickly returning to their usual activities. Only Yuri does something different. She is currently preparing tea in the corner of the room. After I place my stuff to my desk, I go to her. Her water is currently getting into a boiling point in a pot. Why does she have that look though? What are you preparing? Yuri looks up from her work, slightly surprised, then smiles. She then smiles. I'm preparing my usual oolong tea. And have a good one. Thanks. The pot clips as the water is ready. Yuri takes the pot and pours water into a cup as I go over my words. Look, Yuri, could I ask you for a bit of advice? Yuri looks at me with raised eyebrows and stops pouring tea. She then blinks multiple times. Oh, yes, you can. I don't want to do it here. What if we discuss this in a different environment? Yuri looks nervously around at the other club members. Then she nods. Yeah, sure. All right, Monica.
Yes, Willard?
Yuri and I are going to discuss something really quick. We'll be back soon.
Oh, okay. It'll take too long.
With that, we exit the club room. As the door closes, we're left alone. By the way, nice sign. I like it. I point to the sign above the door. Yuri looks at it too and then smiles. Thanks. An embarrassing quiet spreads between us as we both look for words. About that thing you wanted. Is it something between you and Natsuki? Nah, that is already behind us. It is more of a pressing matter now. It involves my twin sister, Faith. Monica approaches us as you and I return to the club room.
Trying out new things?
Monica has a smug smile on her face while she says that. I know what she is doing. You know that I'm not interested in Yuri. We were only discussing something.
And that only took 5 minutes?
We were straightforward in discussion, as much as we could be.
That sure doesn't sound weird in any way.
Yeah, you could think that. As I'm looking for something to say, I come back to yesterday. I still remember how she shouted across the whole room in a phone call. By the way, what was that phone call about?
Which one?
The yesterday one. You seem pretty angry about something. Monica hesitates for a while, telling me the answer. Then she smiles.
It's possible, just like the discussion with Yuri.
Monica isn't surely revealing what was that phone call about. Why? Meh, fair enough. I leave the topic here. I would probably be pissed if I meddled in it. Don't really know what about Monica. Before we continue our conversation, Monica narrows her eyes and looks past me.
What is that?
I look where Monica is also looking. I see a brown bump of hair. Who is that? I hesitate for a while before I go and go over to the door. I then swing the door open as fast as I can. Faith stepped back a bit as I swung the door open. Now she looks at me with her eyebrows raised. Was she stalking us? For Pete's sake, why? I put my hand on my hip as Faith nervously laughs. I ignore the laugh and get to the topic. Since when do you have the habit of stalking me?
I was just checking out the school, you know?
We both know that's not true. The others notice that something's going on and come to the door as well.
Oh, hey, Faith. Wait, you know her? Yeah, I met her during Christmas.
As Sayori opens her mouth again, I shoot my hand up to silence her. Before we get into introductions, why are you here, Faith? Faith crosses her arms as she shifts with her foot. She's clearly uncomfortable.
I just wanted to make sure that I live with the right person, alright?
I'm left a bit surprised by her answer. Then I get what she is saying. Maybe a one-on-one conversation would be better than this.
I don't think that...
Monica, let me deal with it, alright?
Alright. I'll give them both some time.
The club disperses as Monica addresses them and they go to their usual activities. I wait until everyone is distracted with their own stuff to turn to Faith. Time to try Yuri's advice, I guess. Look, Faith. I begin with putting my hands on Faith's shoulders and look at her sincerely. I get it. Living with a person requires a lot of trust in them. But I promise that you can trust me. You can trust that I protect you and I'll be honest. You can even ask me about anything and I'll answer truthfully and honestly. Right now,
The fox with rabies. Was that really an accident? Or did you really try to injure me there?
I avert my eyes as I sigh. I wasn't careful enough, and I'm sorry for that.
Then how can I trust you that you're careful now?
I don't know. Embarrassing quiet spreads as I try to come up with something to say. Do you trust our dad?
Why is that a question?
Please answer. Please answer me. Do you or not?
Yes, I do.
Well, once our dad told me that there isn't a perfect trust. You only trust people enough. Do you trust me enough that I'll be careful?
We haven't really been together since last year. After the accident, trust like that isn't easy to regain.
Then what if we started?
How?
How about you meet my friends here in the Literature Club? And, if you want, they could be your friends too. Faith averts her eyes for a moment, thinking about my proposal.
Alright.
Well, at least it's a first step. I smile as I turn to the club. People, I think we have a visitor.
Persistent freaking assholes.
Oh! So we're now in Faith's perspective. Sheesh.
As I slam the door behind me, I don't bother to take my shoes off as I continue to the kitchen. I hide my gun back behind my back and freeze as I look at my milk and cereal. Crap! I forgot to put it back. I couldn't come to the box and look inside. After looking at it from different angles, I grab the box of milk and inspect it. It seems fine. Alright, it's still safe. After I calm down a bit, I look down at the counter inside. I did it again, didn't I?
So that's Malon. So that's the design for Malon. Alright.
The main door opening breaks me from my trance as Malon comes in.
Tina and I are going on a walk. We'll be back soon.
Alright. Malon smiles as he heads into his bedroom. After a while, he comes out as he is stuffing something into his pocket. Have a nice walk. His smile is flashed at me as Malon closes the main door. Hey, those two are definitely gonna have sex somewhere. My thought process is interrupted by a grumble from my stomach. Right, the cereal. I take the cereal and milk and pour myself a bowl. Then I put everything back in my drawer and lock it. Then aside, I sit down and start eating. I stare at the wall opposite me as I put a spoon of cereal into my mouth. My vision then lands on my phone, laying on the table just a few inches from me. After I swallow, I pick it up and after a while, put it next to my ear.
Ah, hello, Fate. Oh, So that's Malon and Fate's father.
Hey, Dad, how you holding up?
The old same problem, sweetie. Work, boss, all that stuff that awaits you.
Dad, I told you to stop calling me sweetie.
I know.
You better remember that.
Fate, I'm not a young man anymore. I can forget things sometimes.
You still laugh as I smile. How's Mom?
She is going overseas to London, business and all that.
Is she still mad over what happened?
I managed to calm her down a bit, but she is still fuming about it when I hit a bad spot. I think she is going to think about it later.
Alright.
Huh, interesting.
A silence spreads between us as Dad gets to the point.
You're not calling me out of nowhere, right?
I sigh as I lean my back against the chair. I just can't bring myself to trust Malon anymore. My instincts are telling me not to trust him and Tina. While we were at it, and get the hell out of here. And even with how ridiculous that sounds, when I look at what happened, I don't think I'm exaggerating at that point.
You all did what you thought was best.
What? Almost killed ourselves in that crap show or what?
Protecting each other.
Yeah, it was in self-defense, but that doesn't excuse anything, Dad.
I know it doesn't, but just try to be a bit optimistic, please.
I'm trying, Dad, but I can't.
What the hell is that all about? Haven't heard this in a while. Dun dun. The pony gave the. Okay, time to get back. Anyway. So, Fate, what do you like to read? We had gathered around in a circle, forming a large table at a desk, just like with my arrival. Only now I'm sitting next to Natsuki. Fate taps with her fingers as she thinks she has a small black notebook in front of her.
Stories that revolve around mysteries.
What kind of mysteries?
I don't really have a preference for that. If the story can't fish out with a good mystery, that I consider it good.
Even a story about who stole a cookie?
Why such a stupid question?
Why not?
Who wants to steal a cookie anyway? Heck, I know someone, right, Sayuri? Huh? Who about me?
Oh man, you just got called out, Sayuri.
You still owe me for that cookie you stole with Mal and Joy. I only took a bite out of it. But that's still stealing, Sayuri.
That is true. She got you. Natsuki's got you there, Sayuri.
But yours was chocolate. That doesn't matter. Natsuki's right. Hey, stop making me feel guilty!
Oh man. Sorry, Sayuri, but that was funny. After we laugh it off, the conversation between Faith and Yuri continues. My mind, however, points in a different direction. Stay away from me? Why? What could cause someone to stay away from people? Mental illness sounds stupid in Tina's case. Then what would it be?
What? Now what?
Oh, what?
Jeez, you wasn't Sayuri with this.
Can I think for a goddamn minute?
Yeah, whatever.
Did you want something?
Actually, yeah.
Natsuki then leans into my ear and whispers.
Wanna bake something tonight?
I'm pretty sure it won't be. I'm pretty sure it won't be only be bacon. Is she going to bring the topic again? Yeah, sure. I want to stop by anyway.
Good. Otherwise, I would need to kick your butt in there.
Oh, please. You and what are they? Natsuki grins as she forms a fist and shoves it in my face.
They're sorry.
You make a very good point. Faith, do you want tea? I'm being brought back to the meeting as Yuri calls out from the corner of the room.
No, I'm good. Why not? He makes fantastic tea.
Thanks, Sayuri. But I think...
Because I don't want tea. Wasn't that clear enough?
But what a Brit doesn't Since when does a Brit doesn't accept... Since when does a Brit... I don't know. From when a Brit doesn't accept tea made by someone else?
I'm only half British. And don't act like you are half British as well, twin brother.
Alright. I'm just messing with you. Don't take it seriously. But your fault that you missed out on such an opportunity.
I'm aware. Thank you very much.
You stay quiet as Yuri places the tea in the middle of the table and starts handing out teacups. Man. Back in Fate's perspective.
The big noise spreads in the speakers as Stan and I say goodbye to each other. I sigh as I place the phone on the table and put another spoon of cereal into my mouth. After a few minutes, I'm done with my bowl. I get up and place the bowl into the sink when a thought occurs to me. Did Miller lock the front door? I look towards my entrance. My legs are then moving almost independently as I go. I grab the handle and try it. The door slightly opens. For Pete's sake, Nala, what did I tell you? I frown as I grab my keys and lock the door. When I'm stuffing my keys back into my jeans, an idea suddenly hits me. What if Mio had to run into our house? I smile a little bit to myself as I go back into the kitchen. I go for my phone, unlock it with my fingertip, and open my notes app. From the top slides a bunch of notes. I tapped on the longest one titled Book Ideas. I scrolled down a bit before stopping myself. Why, I thought, why would Milo run down to the house? Towards the house. In deeper thought, I mindlessly look at one of the points, pretending to name Milo Weather. I look up frowning and lean with my arms against the table. Why would she? I look in the direction of the door. Then I close my eyes. I try to picture our entrance as clear as possible. I mainly focus on our wooden door. After a while, the door finally opens and closes right after. A redhead enters the house and leans against the door. Heavily breathing, she is trying to calm down. What? Who's that? She looks out the door window. A person in black slows down in front of the house. He looks around for a while before leaving the neighborhood. Thank God. Who's that? Some sort of spy, maybe? Mia looks down and expects a thing on her head. It's a piece of paper. She rolls it over and looks at it. A lot of gibberish. She looks at the paper for a while, staring on the floor, then an idea hits her. It's a cipher! Ryotan confidently nods to herself and takes off upstairs.
I feel like this one is familiar as well.
The door slams against the wall as Mio marches into her bedroom. She places the piece of paper on the table beside her laptop. In the next while, she has a phone next to her ear. She is tapping her foot as she waits.
Hey, Mio. What is it?
I just found something amusing. We need to meet somewhere. I open my eyes with a satisfied sigh. Just then I noticed that I'm in my room near my laptop. Oh crap! Did I get that excited about it? I released a nervous chuckle after that. I don't mind anymore as I open my laptop. I better note that quickly. I create a text document on my laptop and write in it. Mio gets chased by a spy because of a cipher.
Back in Milan's perspective, while I sip for my tea, the conversation between Faith and the others continue.
And that's what cookies are my favorite. Just because of chocolate chips? Yeah! Chocolate's so sweet and full of flavor that I just can't get enough of them! Alright, you do you.
Exactly. That's Sayuri for ya. Suddenly, Yuri chuckles at Sayuri's response. Faith notices it and turns to her.
What's going on? Oh, did I laugh out loud? I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize, Yuri. But can you tell me why you laugh? After all, laughter does heal.
Yuri looks to the side and thinks for a moment. I also stop and think about Faith's behavior. She never usually converses with people like that. Usually she would be quiet. I ain't everyone with daggers. Maybe she's better than when I last saw her?
Fate? I think that's enough.
Our attention turns to Monica, who is almost on the edge of her seat. Eyeing Fate.
What? Can I get to know Yuri? Of course you can, but can you tone it down a bit? Not everyone appreciates these levels of attention, especially this side point.
Monica, she's just asking questions. I was also asked questions when I came.
But Yuri is.
Alright then. We look back at Yuri. She has a look on her face suggesting that she wasn't aware of the argument. Fate nods to herself and leans against the chair.
I guess that's sealed. Continue then, Yuri.
Yuri nods to herself and breathes in and out. Think about her response. Well, one of the characters in one of my favorite books said something similar to what Sayuri said.
Oh! What happened afterward?
She died. A couple of us, including Fate, Natsuki, and myself, laughed out loud as Sayuri sinks to its seat.
Oh!
After a fair minute of laughing, we return to our usual conversation.
What's your favorite book anyway, Yuri?
Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger while she thinks. I don't have an answer for that. There's just so many to choose from.
Then at least genre?
Didn't you respond to that already?
Where?
When I came to the literature club myself, it was something about fancy and deep, complex worlds, right? Yeah, something like that.
Alright then. What is your favorite book, Faith?
Before Faith can say anything, I interrupt her. Yours doesn't count. You know that?
And why do you ramp up a stick up your sorry ass?
The entire club is surprised by Faith's sudden swear word. Well, except for myself and Natsuki.
I would like if you refer to yourself by using those words, Faith. Jesus. Aren't you so uptight here?
Wait, you have written a book, Faith?
Yeah, I did. And self-published it. There was a lot of bullcrap I had to deal with.
Uh-oh. Sheesh. Monica scares me right now. Monica's look sharpens as she looks at Faith, but decides not to call her out on her language. What book?
Mystery the Reaper, and I'm very fancy, where the main character, while trying to find who he really is, meets an outcast angel suspected of murdering his world.
Yuri's and Natsuki's eyebrows raise after they hear the short description.
You're a Christian? Christ, no! With the swearing I produced a model for a second. Did you just make everything up or what? Yeah, I also did research. After all, I can't write about heaven without knowing my crap. Faith? Yeah, whatever.
Yuri asks Faith a question about her book when I again tune out of the conversation. Oh man. We'll go back to the president and MC's perspective. Left, right. Left, right. I have my head down as I'm counting the steps for the past 10 minutes. Tina is smoking a cigarette as she goes along at the same pace. I desperately try to come up with something to say. This walk is pretty boring so far. What do you say about...
Don't.
Tina places a hand on my arm as she stops me.
I just want to enjoy the quiet, please.
After a second, I nod as we both continue in our walk. I'm following Tina in silence, which I think she's going in random directions, hoping to find something interesting. That's why I've been surprised that we come across a bridge that I've never seen. The lake spreads far and wide into the distance. I slowly stop and start to admire the view coming to the concrete fence. When Tina realizes that I've stopped, she comes to the fence and also looks out. Both of us stay quiet as Tina smokes a cigarette, puff after puff.
You've never been here?
I don't really go to the outskirts of the city, so this is new to me.
Then you were missing out big time.
Bummer. I think of something to say as Tina throws the cigarette butt into the lake. The ashes sprinkle into the air as the butt falls down. How do you know this place?
It's quiet. Not many people around. It was used for disposal of all kinds of crap. Plus, you can't deny the view. Can't deny the view is great.
No one probably can. Another quiet grows between us as I look down and tap with my fingers, trying to find another topic to discuss.
Why did I quit sooner?
What did you say? Tina looks at me surprised. She probably didn't expect that I would hear that. She then looks away, while leaning against the fence, playing with her thumbs.
Why did I quit sooner, man? Why? I could have avoided all that crap much sooner and be happier in the long run. And we wouldn't have to deal with the bullcrap that followed with Margaret's murder. All because I was too afraid to do something about myself. Crap!
Feeling bad for Tina, I come to her and place my hands around her in a hug. You were forced into it. Don't blame yourself.
That's really good advice. I really appreciate...
Don't come up with that, Tina. You were trying to protect those you love with going with it. Wait. Hold on. I didn't read the rest of it. That's better than being dead.
I'm failing miserably.
I break the hug and sign. She is still hung up over it, so I try to distract her from it. From when you're such a pessimist. Tina smirks for my comments and looks down.
No doubt sorry I had depression. You're really bad this... No wonder... No doubt sorry I had depression. You're really bad this stuff.
I just want to make you smile, you know? Still better than making you feel guilty anyway. As Tina smiles, I still try to find something to do other than to doubt ourselves. I still remember how you called me dark crap. That was pretty funny.
What was that for?
Honestly, I have no idea anymore.
And how was it funny anyway? Are you that much of a pushover that you accept insults?
I accept insults from people I like, mind you.
Thanks for the compliment.
No problem. We both smile at each other as I pat Tina's shoulder. There's no point in staying here. Let's go. Tina nods in agreement as we head out, leaving a beautiful view behind us. I smile as I spot a familiar house in the distance with a second-story balcony. I head for the front door. I consider ringing the bell, but I don't. But I don't think that's too wise. Yeah, Natsuki's dad. I opt out to simply knock. I opt out to simply knocking on the door. I don't know if it's her dad or if it's Natsuki herself.
Come in.
The voice of a coming. It's Natsuki's dad. The voice of a middle-aged man burps out loud. Seconds later, the door opens. Ah, it's him again. The man is just slightly taller than me and brandishes metal glasses. His shirt is untucked and his tie free to not be uncomfortable for him. He smirks as he leans against the doorway. So his name is Rainier in this mod. Interesting. Did my daughter assault you again? Huh. I've known Natsuki's dad for quite a while now. I think Natsuki introduced me to him after a month we knew each other. The first meeting was, at the best, awkward. I can imagine how that went down. Really awkward. I recognize that he's only joking with his comment. I decide to play along as I present my own smirk. She called me a wooden wheelchair. So completely freaking useless? You can't be more right. We both smirk at each other as Natsuki's dad steps inside to let me into the house. The smell of a recently used oven has filled the whole house as I step in. Knew it wasn't going to be about bacon. Before I could think about this further, Natsuki's dad speaks up. How's life going? I think back to the argument Tina had with the other girl and then her apology at the courtyard. You can say I've had surprising encounters. Heh, what was it this time? You read me to a lady and then invited her for coffee? No, I didn't. Really? Isn't that a cliche in that bullcrap of entertainment of yours? Anime? Yeah, duh. Well, it maybe is, but it's surely better to watch than drink beer all day. Natsuki's dad looks into the living room. Several empty beer bottles are lying next to the couch. Randall then smirks as he slaps my shoulder. You're still a stinky piece of crap for that. Clearly, he didn't take it personally, which is something I appreciate about him. At least he is self-aware about his problems and doesn't mind jokes about it. Haha. Funny. Can we move on? Starting an argument over such petty thing won't do us good. It won't be good for either of us. Alright. Natsuki's in the kitchen if you came because of her. I nod and decide to head for the kitchen. Before I can, though, I'm stopped by Randall when he puts a hand on my shoulder. Thanks for introducing her to someone else than the constant bullcrap she is usually reading. I smile as I replicate his gesture on his shoulder. That wasn't me. She picked it herself. Why? I don't have a clue, sir. Randall smirks after I call him sir. I see you still have respect for older people, Melon. That's what my parents taught me. Randall's smile drops a bit. It's almost unnoticeable as he taps my shoulder with his palm and goes to the living room. Where the hell is my bottle? Anyway, I ignore Rainer. I don't know how the hell he's supposed to pronounce that. Anyway, I ignore Rainer for now as I head into the kitchen. Natsuki is currently taking her cupcakes out of the oven, placing them on the counter. Dirty dishes are all over the kitchen. The smell of chocolate together mixed with vanilla soothes my nostrils.
Beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah. But there's one thing wrong.
Which one?
We weren't supposed to bake them together, didn't we? Or at least, that's what we agreed on?
Well...
Natsuki looks away. A tear of sweat coming from her forehead.
You were gone for a long while, and I didn't want to eat them at midnight. Why did we keep you from coming anyway?
Nat, you don't have to put on a mask in front of me. We talked about this. Natsuki's sides spreads as she sits down.
Can you blame me? You basically caught me lying there.
I suspected it. Don't worry about it. Natsuki swivels in her seat after my comment. She wants to talk about something, but she struggles as to how to approach it. Before she can say anything, her father comes into the kitchen and heads for the fridge. There, he takes out a beer bottle and closes it again. He then takes a look at the kitchen and frowns. After the kitchen and frowns. Those dishes are going to be clean. You understand? Natsuki frowns at him as well, annoyed by her father interrupting her thought process.
Yeah, I get that.
Natsuki's tone has poison in it, projecting a frustrated person. Her father picks up on that and leans towards her through the table. Uh-oh. I had a fear this was coming out. What is that tone, Natsuki? Didn't I taught you to be respectful towards your father?
And can you tell me that? What I did so horribly that I hurt your ego?
Seriously, Nat? Oh man, what is even going on here? The father is a bit surprised by her answer. He then narrows his eyes and frowns at Natsuki. Nat! Oh, that's how you're going to treat me, huh? Then why am I even caring about you then? Natsuki stands up and grabs the table, looking deep into her father's eyes.
Care about me? Care? You did not give a single crap about me, Dad. Who was it that learned cooking by themselves because someone was too lazy to get off their goddamn couch? It was me, Dad.
Oh man. Natsuki's just making everything worse by every second. I should really defuse the situation. Nat, come on! Both of them were ignoring me as steam was coming from both. And who is the one who makes money, pays rent for this house? Who doesn't throw her daughter on the street? Who? Alright, both of you shut the hell up! They both look at me, their eyes red with the savage anger inside them as they pierce into my soul. I don't mind if it came as I come out to them both. Now both of you will calm down and very fast. Come on, breathe in and out. That doesn't. Breathe in and out. I say my request more loudly to silence Rancer. Both of the family members look at each other to comply. For a minute, they repeat my command and breathing in and out. Eventually, they calm down. Reno looks rather guilty as he signs. I'm sorry, Nat. I didn't really want to escalate it that much. Natsuki ignores him as she sits again in her chair, looking into a random direction. Randall, without another word, leaves his bottle into the leaves with his bottle into the living room. Oh man. Huh? Who the hell is this now? We're dabbling on and on about how we are not so different. But that would be such a cliche, it would be boring. Could that be Rivel? Rather, what I will go do is going to be especially why Monica was, quite frankly, a piece of crap. There's much more underneath than Monica would let on. Heh. It's practically pointless, you already know that, and I'm not gonna bother with explaining stuff you already know. Let's make it for fun instead, shall we? What the hell? What the hell was that? I shook up from laying on my bed. I'm all covered in sweat. My heart can't seem to stop as I try to calm down with quick, heavy breaths. Eventually, I managed to calm down at least a bit and realize I'm in my own room. I sit down at the foot of the bed and sigh. The clock just ticks. 4:51 a.m. Freaking hell!
Nightmares?
I look at Tina, who is laying down right next to me, covered deep in her blanket. What else? Tina lets out a sign as she yanks off her blanket and goes to sit next to me. The moonlight reveals that she was sleeping in her underwear. I'm no different.
What was it this time?
It was rather short. He was blabbing about Monica and then tased me.
That's all?
I appreciate it being short. It isn't a pain for the it isn't a pain in the ass for long.
Yeah, true. I was Lily.
Your best friend? Tina nods as she looks into the distance. What specifically?
The beginning of what was actually nice. First meeting up, doing friend things, all sorts of random crap. But then everything went to black and all I was left with is an echoing voice. It's all your fault. While random noise was screwing with my ears.
Not exactly pleasant either, huh?
Tell me about it, Sherlock.
We both sit in silence. We all have been getting nightmares for the past month or so. For me, always waking up in sweat in the middle of the night is tiring. Tina, after a few seconds, shakes her head and stands up.
Screw it. I'm going to stay awake.
She goes to the closet and starts picking out an outfit.
Something more comfortable would be nice.
Tina mumbles to herself as she picks out a blue hoodie. It's only 4:45. You can still have some sleep. Don't you mean 4:45? Tina stops from picking up her outfit.
Most of the time, I can't sleep more than till 5 or 6 a.m. Will an hour make a difference?
Probably not. After a while, I decide to stay awake as well. After a while, we're both dressed up. Tina's adjusting her hoodie with her eyes set on a random drawer. She is still thinking about something. Maybe about the nightmare she had. I decide the answer is probably yes as I place a hand on her shoulder. Don't worry about it. Tina puts her eyes still thinking.
Okay then.
Tina's look still doesn't change. I sigh as I let her be and leave the bedroom. The past. Amy?
Hey, Amy. How you doing?
A few minutes have passed since their argument. While Natsuki calls, I take a closer look at the cupcakes. Each cupcake is in either of 3 colors, yellow, blue, and green. Each has a piece of chocolate sticking out of whipped cream on top of the cupcakes. I take one into my hands and take off the baking liner.
Are you feeling any better?
I find the best spot to take from and take a piece. The yellow, almost banana flavor base, together mixed with the whipped cream, create a symphony of different colors. Those are great, Natsuki. I blow up out of compliment as I look at her. She was just ready to answer Amy.
I'm glad you like them. Otherwise, I would have thrown you in the trash.
Come on, Nat. You don't need to be so aggressive.
That was a joke.
Likewise. Natsuki blanks out for a second. It takes Amy to bring her back into reality. I can't read the decipher what she is saying. Natsuki regains her attention to the phone.
Nah, Mallory's here. Okay. Mallory, she wishes you a good day.
That's nice of her. Natsuki grins as she returns to her call.
If you're feeling better, that means you can come to school tomorrow, right? Okay then, I have something else to take care of. See ya!
Natsuki ends the call with a smile and places her phone on the table. The phone lands to 2 books also laying on the table. One is green with white text. It's a cover. It says, "How to manage your anger. Anger management tips." Oh man, ain't that something? Anyway, the second book is a manga featuring a person holding a sword and a French flag sailing on ruins. The title says 1789, the start of the French Revolution. I pick up the anger management one and look at it. Is it helping? Natsuki turns around in slight surprise. When she notices what I'm holding, she frowns.
Yeah, a bit. Still isn't enough to stop our occasional fights. At least we don't lash out at random people now anymore and just ignore them. For most of the time, anyway.
You want to keep some sort of an image?
You can say it that way.
Natsuki keeps quiet for a while before continuing.
Still doesn't stop me from being angry at my stupid decisions.
Such as?
The book we got assigned in the literature club. So stupid!
I think for a while before picking up the manga. On its side, it reads Volume 3. You know why I recommended the book to you? Because of this. I hold up the manga. When Natsuki sees what I'm referring to, she faintly smiles.
You know that they're completely different topics.
I guess so.
You know why I like it?
Natsuki points to the manga. Why?
You already guessed that this isn't my usual reading material. But there's something about the people rising against oppression caused by the dumb atrocity that is somehow fascinating about it.
And then causing paranoia and the death of thousands of people?
You know what I mean, you!
Before Natsuki can spell out the insult, she stops herself and breathes in and out. While I let Natsuki calm herself, I start to list through the manga itself while standing up. I recognize it goes through 2 points of view. One point of view follows the general history of the French Revolution, showcasing important events and figures of the revolution. The second point of view follows a daughter and a father, standing on the opposite sides of the revolution. That's some interesting read you got there. Natsuki smiles to herself as I place the manga on the table again. I still find it a bit weird to see her smile after something like that. But I guess she doesn't really hide it in front of me anymore. I did remember back to our conversation in the club room. You wanted something. What exactly? Natsuki looks at me, then stands up as well. After a bit, her cheeks go red and she looks away.
Oh, I was wondering if...
Natsuki is going through her words. As I try to help her, I put her hand on her shoulder. Nah, you can tell me everything, alright? Natsuki, after a bit of consideration, nods. She then takes my hand and plays with it.
I was wondering if we could, you know, try it again?
I immediately get uncomfortable as I get what Natsuki is trying to say. I look away as I force Natsuki's hand off my own. We both agreed to end it, Nat. My memories flood back to me as I look at Natsuki's lips. I still remember them as sweet, full of strawberry flavor. I don't know what she is doing with them, but they were always magic. Even though the memories we had, I shake my head. No, just no. Natsuki looks down and sighs. She then places my hand on my chest.
Please?
Natsuki practically whispers as she grabs my t-shirt. My head is spinning far and wide. Nah, we had enough arguments and fights as it was. I don't want to bring that up again. I try to defend my stance, but Natsuki is still glued to me, holding my t-shirt. Looks like she isn't going to drop this, but I don't want to get together again. As Natsuki pleads her eyes onto me, I sigh as I grab her hand. Alright, but one condition. If we both don't feel anything, we'll never bring out our former relationship again. Deal? Natsuki smiles as she stands up by her toes to get closer to my face.
Deal!
She brings my face towards her lips as we kiss. Her lips are still the same flavor as I remember. She drives her fingers deeper into my skin through my shirt. And yet, I don't feel anything. After a while, Natsuki backs away. She looks disappointed. More disappointed than I've ever seen her.
Nothing? And what about you?
My silence only confirms my answer. Nothing. Natsuki looks down and she steps back. Then she frowns, opens her mouth to say something, but then stays silent. Whoa. Did I interrupt something? Both me and Natsuki look to the left where her father stands.
No, not really, Dad.
Lionel looks at both of us and then nods. Alright, Dad. He goes to the fridge and opens it. After a bit of fishing there, he gets a cold beer. Both me and Natsuki look down as Randall walks off while opening his drink. Whoa. Man. As the bell rings, the lunchtime begins. I get out all my stuff, put them into my bag and leave. The hallway is filled with students. As most head for lunch, I look around. Faith doesn't seem to be around. Guess I'll go alone. Before I can head into the cafeteria, however, I get interrupted in my thoughts by someone I haven't seen for a while. Amy! I have not seen Amy since DDLC Yellow. That was one of mods that Slutty Symbol done. I have not seen her since that mod. Wow. I didn't think it was the same Amy. Anyway.
Hello, Ballard.
Ah, hey, Amy. You holding up?
I would say it's better than the last few days.
I'm glad.
Did you really miss me so much?
Would you be more glad if I insulted you?
I appreciate us. I appreciate us, King Malad.
Well, you are getting it, because I'm certain I would get my ass kicked by Natsuki if she would find out.
That would be lovely.
No, not really.
Will you be heading to the cafeteria?
Before I can answer, I spot someone from earlier that was suddenly walking out of the classroom and went in an entirely different direction, the cafeteria. She then looks around and quickly slips into a gray metal door. Wait, did that say it was Tina? Yeah, it was Tina. It is Tina. She is surely going through something really hard. No, I'll be having lunch in the courtyard. Amy looks into the same direction as I. When she doesn't see anything, she just shrugs.
Alright then. Later.
Later. I make sure that Amy leaves the hallway before heading to the metal door and look at it. A sign clearly says it leads to the roof. A sticker next to it says, "Entry not allowed." I reach for the handle, then hesitantly pull back. Do I really want this? I sigh as I look around, before opening the door and going inside. After going up some stairs, I come up to the roof, the sun hitting my eyes. The air is more cooler than on the ground. White clouds are pasted across the sky. When I look around, I see Tina sitting on a nearby bench, smoking a cigarette. She frowns in as she notices me.
I didn't know you were dead.
Well, I also can't believe myself sometimes. I place my backpack next to the entrance and go to Tina, sitting next to her. Silence spreads just like yesterday as Tina takes a puff from her cigarette.
Don't have bad things to do than sit on your goddamn ass.
It's pretty obvious that stuff is happening behind your scenes.
And?
It's not mentally healthy keeping it a secret, you know.
Since when do you care about a random gal who once argued in a club room?
You aren't a giant piece of crap. I can always appreciate that. Tina is struck for a while by my answer. She then, however, returns to herself as she throws her cigarette butt on the floor and kills the fire with her foot.
Then why are you around me? Even though I told you to stay away from me.
I look down as the memories from a few months hit me like a truck. I sigh as I stand up, looking at Tina. I have a friend I have known since childhood. She is known to be bubbly and always happy, like a bundle of sunshine. But there was a secret that she kept hidden from everyone. And the secret was that she had depression her whole life. Her bubbly attitude was just a facade, so that nobody would worry about her. He's talking about Sayuri. But deep down, she was fighting her own demons every single day. And when she needed help, I was a freaking asshole and we ended up drifting apart. What makes it even worse is that I was the only reason she wasn't just ending it. And I was freaking ignorant about it. I don't want to do the same mistake with you.
Two things here. One, you're not the only reason I'm apparently not ending my life. And two, that isn't a reason not to respect my privacy, you know?
Then give me one and I'll respect it.
I don't need one. If I want privacy, I should have it. End of discussion.
I just don't want people dying because of my goddamn ignorance, alright?
I won't be dying anytime soon, pal, so I would drop it.
Alright, I'll go then. Sheesh. I grab my bag as I want to exit the roof.
Before you go,
I turn around to see Tina standing up. What?
It's actually nice to see that you care so much about people you like. I would cherish that. After all, that's why I like those people more on arm's length than on the ground.
After that, she goes through the entrance and leaves the roof. I'm left standing there, looking at the entrance. More at arm's length than underground. After a few seconds, I shake my head and leave the roof as well. The present. As I get into the kitchen, I yawn as I head for the fridge. The cold slightly hits me as I look deep into it. Just as I land a look at 3 loose eggs, I suddenly remember my promise to Tina that I would make her breakfast today. Should I prank her and then say that when I made it, it's mine? Okay, Madeline, don't be an asshole just because you want to be. You made a promise, then do it. I take the eggs and close the fridge as I hear Tina coming into the kitchen.
You were actually serious about it?
I look up to see Tina and smile. You have to keep your promises, no?
Mala, you don't have...
Shh! I place a finger on my lips as I silence Tina. Faith is still sleeping. Be quiet. Tina presents an insult face as she puts her hands on her lit hips. God. I laugh out loud as I take a pan from the cupboard and start preparing Tina's breakfast. As synth wave plays from a USB stick into the radio, I place the plate of scrambled eggs with a spoon on the table. Have a good meal. Tina smiles as she picks up the spoon and starts eating. Now, what will I have for breakfast? I go to the fridge again and take a look. I'm stuck between choosing whatever I'll take. Whenever I take a yogurt or ham together with bread.
Are you trying to precipitate Siberian winter here?
No, just I don't know what to pick.
First world problems, I see.
I frown a bit as I look at Tina. You know that I can still take the scrambled eggs.
What? That you really want to be an asshole?
I sigh as I rebut my look into the fridge. I was just joking. I simply take the yogurt and close the fridge and say, screw it under my breath. Before I can sit down with my breakfast, I spot Faith coming down the stairs. Man. I stop from saying anything at the sight of her bags under her eyes. Jesus Christ, did you sleep in the past 3 days? Faith stops and looks at me with an insulted look on her face. She then ignores me as she heads for the fridge and starts staring into it herself. She picks up a box of milk and opens it. She looks into the box and expects the milk inside. Really? She mistrusts me that much? After a while, she decides that the milk is good and closes the fridge.
What was it this time?
Faye looks at Tina and for the first time today, relaxes her eyebrows.
Knowing that you're angry with the wrong person does get taxing. Just like when the British tax the Americans? You can say it that way.
Faith then unlocks her cupboard, takes her cereal out, and pours herself a bowl before returning the cereal back. After she is done preparing, and after she locks her cupboard again, mind you, a question pops into my head I'm interested in having an answer for. When was the first time you suspected something, Faith? Faith looks at me caught a bit off guard as she places the bowl on the table.
Suspected what? Exactly.
About Monica. Faith stays silent as she thinks the answer over.
It was a few days after I joined when you and Natsuki and I caught the conversation between Monica and Sayuri.
Oh, that?
Huh?
I now respond as I try to remember what that conversation was about. Whoa, this is interesting.
I'm telling you the facts here, Natsuki. Overpowered protagonists are crap. End of discussion. Come on! Don't you think heroes kicking heroes' asses fine? I never said that. I said that making them overpowered is crap.
Both Fate and I randomly met Natsuki while on the way to the literature club. When Natsuki brought up a protagonist I never heard of, Fate replied that she read the book that protagonist is in. She said about her, or at least I think that's the protagonist's gender, that she is annoying sometimes, but at least not overpowered. And after started a discussion between them about overpowered protagonists, that has been continuing for the past minute or two. I've just zoned out the conversation, to be honest. As we're near the corridor where the literature club is located, I'm starting to hear voices coming in from it.
Wait.
Faye also notices the voices and stops the group.
What?
Faith ignores Nazi as she comes to the corner of the hallway and looks into the corridor.
It's Monica and Sayuri. And? Would they be in the literature club? Maybe they need to discuss something important. Why are we staying here?
Fate looks again into the literature corridor, as I've heard Monica call it once. I'm crossing my arms as I look at Fate. I don't think this is entirely okay to just listen in on the conversation. I'm opening my mouth to force Fate to go when Sayuri's voice suddenly gets louder. Uh-oh.
I can't hear this anymore, buddy!
Shh. All three of us looking at each other. Handle what? Natsuki then frowns and joins Fate in corner eavesdropping. Sid. Shh. As Fate shuts me down, I can again faintly hear Monica and Sayuri again.
I'm sorry that I scared you like that. I just don't want anyone else hear us. I don't need more people becoming a problem. Problem?
Sayuri says this in a disappointed tone.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
As Monica loudly signs, I look at Natsuki in the meanwhile. I thought you were opposed to eavesdropping.
I can make exceptions if one of my friends are hurting in any way I can help them.
She has a point, not gonna lie. I end up coming to the corner and looking out into the corridor. Uh-oh. Monica is looking down, still disappointed in her word choice as Sayuri watches her with slight confusion on her face.
I just don't want more people to know so they don't get hurt. I meant it like that.
But what the hell is this? Sayuri looks away from Monica, still a bit unconvinced. Monica then comes to Sayuri and places her hands on her shoulder, making Sayuri look at her.
Look, Sayuri, you were right. No one should be living like that. That's why I was focusing on fixing it for the past couple of weeks. It has been going slow, but it's getting there. Please, just trust me when I say it will be over soon. You've been saying that for the past 2 months! Sorry, I missed everything by doing this. I can't make it quicker without messing it up. If we take a nice and stay, we'll succeed and make our lives better. You should head to the club. Staying here too long is suspicious.
You think? Sayuri then mindlessly nods as the both of them head back into the club. Oh man. All three of us look at each other with concern on our faces.
None of us would mention that we heard that. Understand?
After a while of silence, both me and Natsuki nod.
Alright, let's go.
Tense silence is known between us as we go to the literature club. Man. As Fate, still having bags under her eyes, is checking something on her phone while eating breakfast, I come up with another question for her. What did you do afterward?
I thought about it. Then I called Jude.
My eyes widened a bit at the mention of the name. Jude Ellis is one of our mother's friends we both known basically since childhood. Especially Fate was closer to her. Sometimes I even thought that she would spend more time with her than our mother. What was haunting, however, was the fact that she was a lieutenant at the local police department in this city. Contacting a police officer usually doesn't mean anything good. Why?
I wanted to see if she could fish out records on manga and Sayuri.
And?
Sayuri's father was shorter than I expected. Nothing interested there. But, as we all know by now, mangas was like a visit to the dentist. Really freaking long.
Wait. So you knew the whole time?
Yeah?
I'm in awe. Why didn't she tell us earlier, for Pete's sake? I sigh as I close my eyes and look down. Alright then. There's no point getting angry at this point, honestly. I take out Jack Daniels from a cupboard, pour myself a glass, and then leave the kitchen. Going upstairs, I go to the end of the hall, turn left and open a glass door. The morning sun hits me in the face as I step out of the house onto the balcony. With a slow step, I walk up to the bar at the balcony and lean against it. I watch as one neighbor was cutting wood in his backyard, and as another is feeding random birds in front of her house. I don't have to watch for long until I register steps behind me. Instinct makes me look around. That's when I find out it's Tina. Tina comes to the bar at the balcony as well as I turn around.
I'm here for a smoke. Nothing interested.
I take a sip from my drink while Tina is putting a cigarette in her mouth and lighting it up with her Zippo. She leans against the bar as well, taking a puff from her cigarette. Why did Fate keep it a secret? Granted, she was still paranoid at that point, but not on that sort of level. I'm sure of that. While lost in thought, I take a look at the glass of a brown whiskey, when I quietly laugh for myself.
Care to share?
I sigh as I look at Tina. Drinking, smoking, nightmares almost every night. Sometimes noticeable bags under our eyes. Heh, we're freaking wrecks. Tina doesn't try to dispute that as she looks far into the distance, puffing her cigarette from time to time. Back in the past, Fate's perspective.
The lights are shining on the sidewalk as I'm faster than most of the cars. Forced to stand by because of traffic. I'm pulling my jacket tighter and sniffing through my nose as I'm opening my phone to go for the Maps app. The app tells me it's just a few meters away from a diner I'm headed towards. After a few seconds, I do indeed see the diner and go to its door. Inside, the yellow lights are shining on the wooden tables. I see no one around. As I land my sight on the closed side, it's not hard to figure out why. On the encouraging side, I eventually decide to test the door. And as I expected, the door is unlocked. When I look around myself, to ensure I'm not followed, I step in. The diner has a nostalgic feeling to it. It kind of wants me to remember all my childhood memories all of a sudden. As I shake my head to avoid bringing up memories, I notice the diner still has some weird variation of a lofi beat playing from somewhere. When I do look around for a source, I find a speaker in the top corner of the diner. It isn't the worst music I ever heard, but it could be better. While I'm distracted by the music, a man's voice suddenly speaks out.
You fake castle?
I turn around to the counter where my voice came from. A man, I guess in his late 20s, is drying a plate behind the counter. He's dressed in a beige color uniform. Yeah? The man nods and turns around.
Sweetie, your friend is here.
Come in! Some rustling is coming from the kitchen, and after a while...
Wait, who the hell is this?
A woman similar in age comes out to the counter.
So that's Jude. So that's who Fate mentioned before the flashback.
Hey, Jude.
Hello, Fate. How was your day?
Jude, or Lieutenant Ellis, if you want to call it that, is asking me this with a big smile as she comes around the corner to greet me. It's been fine in the past few days.
I'm glad to hear it. What would you like? Coffee? Some juice? Maybe even some food?
I quickly look away as I allow myself to think. Jude now technically has a reason to want to get rid of me because of the records. That's freaking dumb. Why would she? I look back at Jude with a reassured smile. Cheers for me, nice. Jude nods as she goes back to around the counter.
What flavor?
Doesn't matter. As Jude is looking for juice to offer me, I decide to sit down and wait. Judy comes back with an orange juice in one hand and a little handbag in the other. She places my glass of juice in front of me and then sits on the other side of the table. Thanks. Jude smiles as she nods. A short silence spreads as we avoid looking at each other. I end up encouraging myself with a sigh to bring up the topic we're here for.
This is about Monica and Sayuri.
You've got the files for me? Jude's smile falls as she looks at the handbag.
Yeah, I did.
She digs in her handbag for a bit, then she stops.
You promised me one.
This never leaves the diner. This never leaves the diner? She raises her eyebrows in surprise.
Yeah, that.
I'm not that stupid to spread this around.
I just want to make sure. I don't know how to do these impressions of these girls, honestly. I mean, when it comes to Sayuri, Natsuki, Yuri, and Monica, it's one thing, but when it comes to the girls that are OCs and everything, that's a different story. But anyway,
Jill continues to dig in her handbag before taking out 2 files. While one is extremely thin, the other looks like a freaking novel. The thinner one has Sayuri's picture on the front, while the thicker one has Monica's. What the hell?
That's everybody's reaction to this, to be honest.
I look at you with a are you freaking kidding me? Face as I reach for Sayuri's file and open it. After searching through it, the only thing interesting is that she moved with her parents to the US at the age of 5 from Japan. Moving on to Monica's folder, I opened it to discover more files, each having a different face and name attached to it. One even had a company logo and name on it. What are those for? I point to the files and raise my eyebrow. Jill closes her eyes and sighs, still probably contemplating if she's gonna tell me. When I called her, she wasn't exactly happy either. She discouraged me several times before agreeing to fish out the files.
Those are victims of murders and kidnappings Monica was a suspect in. Wait, what the hell? Okay, just when I thought this mod couldn't get any more dark. If it wasn't dark already. Anyway.
My eyes froze wide as I look at the files and back at Jude. What?
I'm not looking to be joking, am I?
Silence grows as I look at the files in horror. Why wasn't Monica convicted? I then searched through the files of the victims. They're all different ages, ethnicities, race. Nothing is consistent, except for one. Not enough evidence to determine the killer. What? What the hell?
Okay, what is going on here? What's going on in this mod?
It takes me a few seconds to process the information I have just received. I then turn to the file with the company logo on it. What happened in there?
Allegations of money laundering, which end up being true. Monica wasn't personally a suspect, but she was convicted of tampering with evidence about a year ago.
Convicted? For how long?
Usually, it would be up to 20 years. She only got a hefty fine due to other circumstances and was let scot-free. Wow. I'm pretty sure those other circumstances were also the reason media weren't talking about it.
My breath is taken away as I lean with my back against the chair. That's...
Honestly, what did you expect from this? What did you expect from this? From this city anyway? And more importantly, why did you decide to even move here?
I look away as I pick up my glass of juice. I wanted to get closer to my brother, just like we used to. I sip from my juice as I'm trying to think everything over. I need to get more information.
No, you will not.
Jill points her index finger at me as she interrupts.
You got what you wanted, and what you need to know. Don't make my job more complicated than it already is.
Then why did you decide to show me this in the first place? Jude looks at me for a few seconds as she retracts her index finger.
Should I be honest?
I appreciate that.
I thought you would stop pestering for more. I thought you would stop pestering for more information.
Uncomfortable silence spreads as she sighed. Uncomfortable silence spreads as Jude sighs. Just don't, alright? For your own safety.
Wait, no. You said no. Just don't respond. I'm doing this for your own safety.
I don't respond as I look into the side and sip for my juice.
This was a mistake.
I don't respond to that as well as Jude starts to collect the files. Put them in a bag and walks out to the counter.
Back in the present. Silence settles as Tina puffs from her cigarette and I sip from my brown whiskey. Morning is still rising to start a new day. While cars are passing by and neighbors start working. Tina smiles to herself as she looks down. Rex,
huh? You got a solution for that?
Looking away, I sip from my drink.
Thought so.
Tina puffs for the last time before throwing a cigarette butt out on the street. The small ashes spread as the butt hits the ground. That's a bit rude, don't you think?
Guess the only waking up doesn't make me care.
And why don't you think of the poor, African children?
Now you're just being offensive for the sake of it.
Maybe. As nobody says anything for a while, I look up around me. The gentle wind corrodes with Tina's hair, while the clouds are revealing the morning summer sun. As I sip the remains of my drink, I'm turning around to enter the house again.
Hey!
I stop and turn to Tina again. Yeah?
Can you be here for a while?
Sure. I come back to the railing while putting my empty glass on the ground for the time being.
Want to hear a funny story?
Yeah?
It was probably 4 years ago, I think. I was living with my mom at that time. Mom was the one cooking. Was the cooking one in the family. But she was always encouraging me to also cook something. So one day I decided to cook. Mom was eager to help once she found out, but I refused her help. What I decided on was a steak, together with some traditional pasta. So I set up everything. Water for pasta, pan, and spice for steak. So far, it was going well. And the next minute, I got the freaking oil on fire. Water boiling over the pot, which I then slept over.
I laughed out loud, imagining the scene as Tina giggles, a little red in the face.
I probably forgot to mention I'm a horrible cook, didn't I?
Man. I'm trying to calm down as I get a question from myself. And did you put out the fire?
Yeah. Mom did it with an fire extinguisher. Still didn't convince her to stop pestering me about cooking.
That's why you only cooking scrambled eggs?
You can say that I have a phobia for complicated cooking.
The positive energy is still within us as we enjoy the birds singing around their morning songs. Suddenly, Tina speaks out again, this time much more solemn.
You know when I first thought about having feelings towards you?
I look surprised at Tina, turning towards her.
It wasn't when I caught you staring at me.
It wasn't when I caught you staring at me.
That was afterward. It was a few days after we met on the roof. I still kind of feel guilty over my behavior back there, but I did what I had to do. Anyway, on that day, I had to deal with a few people and then went home. I still remember it was daylight when I returned.
What about Monica and Talia?
Both of them were doing their own thing. Monica was playing something over a map, while Tina was getting angry over a soda tax.
How much?
Enough to annoy me. Well, for context, I was still in the period of lying to myself, and that also affected how I thought about you. Didn't stop me from finding out the truth eventually.
Silence again spreads a bit more awkward than usual between us. So, in Tina's perspective,
Finally home. I smiled to myself and thought that I'd be able to just get in bed and forget about the rest of the day. I puffed my cigarette. I started along the way as I dived deep into my pocket and take a look at what I've been looking for the entire afternoon. A golden watch with a little chain, just like businessmen would have in the 19th century in their pockets. I frowned upon the watch as I placed it back in my pocket and instead take out a ring case. It takes me only a second to pick the home key, unlock the door, and head inside, cigarette still in hand. Closing the door behind, I take my shoes off as I look around. I'm home. The response, as usual. I shrug as I go further into the house. When I arrived into the kitchen, my expectations are met when I see Monica hunched over a map of the city.
Monica?
I go to her to see that she has highlighted several places and streets I faintly recognize. One street is the street where a very familiar place called Cafe Maria is, highlighted in red. On the top of the map is a modern text written the map of the city of Isidore. What's your plan there? Monica looks up from expecting the map and frowns. We already talked about this, Tina. Will you listen or what? Of course I was. Chill out. I was just asking. Monica then returns her attention to the map once again. I put my cigarette. Monica's probably too interested in whatever bullcrap she highlighted to notice it. I take out the gold watch and lightly throw it at the map. I got what you wanted. Monica stops inspecting the map and takes the watch into her hands. Seems fine. How much trouble did it give you? Some smartass thought it was fake and threw it into a trash can. Then what took you so long? That smartass forgot when he threw it out, so I had to check every goddamn trash can in the school building. Oh. As Monica expects to watch further, another person comes into the kitchen.
What the hell? First time I've seen this character.
I can't freaking believe it. Julia's eyes come in, her eyebrows frowning. She stops herself once she sees me, but she seems surprised. You didn't hear me into or what? Yeah, probably. Sorry for my outburst. What were you angry about anyway? The city officials thought it would be a good idea to make up more taxes, so they tax sodas. You are drinking a lot of it, so it's probably healthier for you. Says the one who smokes indoors.
When Monica
overhears Sarah's response, she looks at my head, frowning. Plus, it's not healthy for my wallet. I mean, why take more money from me so they can buy a new jet? I don't disagree with you there. But can you calm down? You're blowing my eyes off yelling here. Yeah, screw yourself too. Staring at that sign that goes to the fridge, looking at it. After a bit of silence, Manga speaks out again. We agreed on not smoking indoors, Tina. Else what? What else I'm kicking you off the house, out of the house?
Oh man, I think she's serious about that one.
Manga scolds me with a look, now with her eyes. Oh, boo-hoo! Are you concerned over having spill here? Actually, yes. Outside. Fine. Whatever. You do you. Manga scolds me one more time as I turn my back into the kitchen and go outside. Closing the door behind me, I take another puff as I lean against the nearby slope, all in the entrance roof. As the cigarette Tabasco bullets, my mind comes back to the exchange with Fallon at the roof. Why did he come back? Is he that stubborn or what? But he wasn't even to help me. Why? He did mention that one of his friends has depression, and that he doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes with me. That does seem like a good reason enough. And to be honest, when we did work together, you seemed like a really nice guy. Maybe. No, that's bullcrap. Why would we both have that kind of feelings for each other? I sigh as I drop a cigarette butt on the ground, kill the fire, and come back into the house. There, I head for the kitchen to the still interested in a map Monica. Can you for a bit? What is it, Tina? You mentioned your literature club at one point. Do you have a member with depression? Monica is weirded out by my question as she places her hand on her hip. Why do you ask? I need to verify something. Can you give me a hand? Talk to Sayuri. I smirk as I tap Monica's shoulder. Thanks. Monica is still looking at me weird as I leave the kitchen with a smile.
The present. So it's still in Tina's view.
As I look at myself in the mirror again, my vision slides to my green wave of hair. I reach forward with my fingers and touch it for a while. Man, when was the first time I dyed my hair? 2, 3 years ago? I smile to myself as I stop the water falling into the sink and leave the bathroom. As I arrive into the kitchen, I spot Faith sitting in a chair, writing into a laptop. What is that scene about? Faith looks up from her work straight into my eyes. When she recognizes me, she sighs and looks back at her computer. The main character, about finding out a mother that is important to the story. We have a lot of experience in that, huh? Faye doesn't respond. I just shrug the topic off and go to the fridge. I take out a box of juice and pour myself a glass. Then a question pops into my head. Melon is where? Still didn't come down after breakfast.
I accidentally hit that.
Which is weird considering it's almost noon. I sip for my glass of drink as I sip for my glass of juice as I think. I'll go get him and then we'll go somewhere to eat. Faye looks up at me. I noticeable fear in her eyes. Why go somewhere? Too general with my cooking. We'll probably just get fast food and get here ASAP. After hearing fast food, shh, Fate shifts to a chair, but doesn't eject anymore and continues writing. I place my glass on the counter and go to the bedroom. As I continue to the door, my steps slow as I hear something from there. It's a guitar? It doesn't sound like what's coming from any kind of speaker. Now never told me anything about having a guitar. Where did he get it?
Oh, he plays guitar, huh? That's interesting.
And Santa slowly opened the door. And as clear as daylight, Malin is playing on his guitar right before he hits his desk. When his eyes focus on his left hand, chords are coming from the base of the guitar. The guitar is made out of wood and has a few scratches here and there, but overall it's in good shape. Malin still doesn't register someone else. Malin still didn't register someone else in the room. I used the opportunity to silently into the room and walk to the bed. I'm still keeping my eyes on his fingers as I'm sitting down. His delicate fingers on his left are switching between strings as his right fingers are bringing them to motion. It's almost mesmerizing. After a while listening, I visually embarrassed Malin's fingers, but instead closes its eyes. As I'm tapping my foot in rhythm, I still subconsciously wonder where Malin got the guitar. Does it matter? Probably not. What? As I open my eyes again, I notice that Malin has stopped playing and is looking at me. There's a short silence as I'm trying to process that, kind of invading his music playing privacy.
You think? Did you enjoy it?
After a while of confusion, I smile at Malin as Malin receives a nod. Malin then takes a look at the guitar and sighs as he slides his palm across it.
I forgot I have it. It has been buried under that mess of a closet for 2 years.
He points with his head to the closet in our bedroom. And that was perfectly fine when you took it out?
No, I had to tune it, otherwise, still works somehow.
Malin then places the guitar leaning against the bed. Just as I wanted to open my mouth again to say something, the bell rings throughout the whole house.
Who could that be?
You think I can see through walls?
No, but I think it would be awesome to see through things.
Yeah, and also awesome to look through clothes.
Don't worry. I would only look at you, T.
We both explode into laughter as we leave the bedroom. By the way, we're gonna probably get fast food at lunch.
Why exactly?
I don't know. McDonald's, KFC, doesn't matter. When we arrive at the front door, I can hear a voice coming from the front door as faint as peeping out. Who are you? A woman's voice responds to her.
Is Malin
Castle there? Let me think. You should probably...
Yes, I'm here.
Malin opens the door fully, interrupting fate and letting me see the woman. She isn't pretty ordinary clothes, probably around her early 20s. She is holding a small notebook in her left. Man, it's good to see you.
I can say likewise.
Both of them extend their hands and shake hands. Fate frowns as Malin greets with the woman. Malin, who the hell is this?
That's the journalist I met yesterday. Mallet snaps.
Mallet snaps his fingers as his voice trails off, looking away. 75!
Yeah, that.
Mrs. Bond then turns to Faith, who is still frowning. She didn't notice his face after Macromia, but she looks at for a few seconds. She then shakes her head and continues. And I'm guessing you now it's to its sister, Faith Castle? Faith still looks at Mrs. Bond with no eyes. She is clutching the handle, ready to close it at any time. Yeah, I am. Mrs. Bond smiles, then looks at me. I'm pretty sure she wants to ask, so I reply before she can ask. Dear Lisa, if you're wondering. Mrs. Bond, with an even bigger smile, extends her hand and is shaking in a businesslike manner. I then head for the important question flying in the air. If I can, why are you here? Oh, I didn't mention that. I'm so sorry. Mrs. Bond produces a chuckle for herself. I wanted to ask you for something. What is that something? Faith's deep voice is still hostile towards Mrs. Bond, still clutching the door. It's related to the documentary about Mason Aston. We look at each other with clear discomfort on our faces. Then Malik coughs and reaches for his keys.
Well, we were just getting ready to venture for lunch. What are we discussing while there?
Oh, Mrs. Bond looks at Faith, who is still frowning and nods. That sounds fine. Where?
In the restaurant where we first met. Is that okay? In a couple minutes?
All right. I'll be expecting you. Yeah, whatever. As Mrs. Bond speaks, Faith shuts the door, then narrowly looks at Mallow, still gripping the handle as hard as she can. What did you tell this woman? For Pete's sake!
I just answered questions.
And what were those questions? Will you live so I can shoot you, Mr. Stupid? For God's sake, Tia! For God's sakes! Can you show for a goddamn second? Faith turns to me after I speak up. So you don't mind telling private information to some Betty? Think about this logically, Faith. Would she kill off the people she wants to interview? Faith keeps looking at me after a few seconds she sighs. All right, whatever.
Your fault if we die. I don't know. I don't know how long I can keep this up. I think I'm at the 3-hour mark. I can't even tell anymore.
Faith holds her hands up and goes upstairs, presumably into a bedroom. Malik crosses his arms and with a sigh looks into my eyes.
I think we both know what she is going to ask for.
I breathe out as I lean against the door, looking out of the flute-shaped window. The sun is just slowly being covered by a set of dark clouds.
We're back in MC's perspective. Anyway, the clouds are revealing a shiny sun as I'm finishing my lunch. I've been thinking about the conversation at the rooftop with Tina for quite a while, and and I do have some ideas as to what's going on. I'm still unsure though as to how to approach her with it. Once I'm done, I throw out the paper bag I was keeping my lunch inside. Now what? I guess I'll just head back into my next classroom to wait for my next lesson. I pick up my bag and head for the school. Now, which direction is the classroom? I think it's left. The walk goes on pretty quick. Which lesson is it gonna be? History? I think I have that lesson with Yuri. Well, at least I won't be alone. After a bit of walking, I come to the right classroom door and open it. What I see there is a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect Yuri to be here. She is currently eating from her bento box, eating some kind of sushi. What I didn't expect is Tina and Sayuri in the corner of the room, quietly discussing something. Interesting. Sayuri? They both look at me. Sayuri's delighted to see me, while Tina averts her eyes from me.
Hey, man!
Sayuri waves her arm above, then gives me a signal to come to them. What's going on?
Oh,
Sayuri looks at Tina while she taps her fingers, a bit embarrassed.
Tina. Sayuri? Oh yeah, Tina just wanted to discuss something with me. She wanted to talk about you. Sayuri. I can't resist.
Hey, that's Sayuri for ya. About me? I look at Tina. She still has her eyes averted from mine. Instead, she's trying to burn Sayuri to the ground. Sayuri, can you tell me how did you end up here?
You and I were supposed to be here. While having lunch, Tia came in.
Why were you supposed to be Yuri here?
'Cause I wanted to, silly.
Just like that?
Well, I felt bad for Yuri when she told me she's eating lunch alone. So I came along.
Aw, that's sweet of you.
I would prefer you alone.
Sayuri looks at Tina with a surprised look.
Why? I just prefer it. Yeah, but why? It's personal. Sorry.
Sayuri opens her mouth to ask again, but after a while thinking, she decides against it.
Alright, I understand.
Sayuri, can you leave us alone for a second? Sayuri looks at me, surprised, and then at Tina.
Alright then.
Sayuri smiles as she leaves, but after a few steps, she turns around with a devilish grin.
If I had fast over to dinner before kissing her, alright? Sayuri. Sorry.
Oh, Sayuri. Sayuri then turns her back towards us and walks up to Yuri. I notice Yuri staring at us. She shakes her head and then pays her attention to Sayuri.
I swear that she is actually smart and only acts like a child.
That's Sayuri for ya. As I want to turn back to Tina, she signs and heads towards the door. Wait! I managed to grab her shoulder before she has a chance to leave. She looks pissed, while her hands formed in fists. Before she punches me or whatever she usually does, I fish out one of the more crazy ideas. You don't have to tell me, Tina. Tina raises her eyebrows in surprise as she pays full attention to me.
Tell what exactly?
What you're doing? Well, behind the scenes. Tina looks down and relaxes her hands, letting them go from the fist position.
How would we?
It doesn't define you. What matters is all of the other stuff about you, not that.
Yeah? What is that other stuff?
Interests, hobbies, favorite things, stuff like that. Point is, we can still hang out, even if I don't know all the details. You know, go outside school, have a coffee, or help out grandma in the crosswalk. Who knows? Tina giggles at my grandma joke as she thinks further.
You'll be absolutely fine with not knowing it?
I promise.
Alright then. We can hang out, if it doesn't interfere with my own business.
And in an instant, a smile appears on both our faces. I would like to meet up later today, but I have a club and...
That's fine. I can wait.
I stand by, surprised a bit. Really?
Yeah, it's fine.
Pinky promise? I laugh out loud as Tina is looking at me with a... Is this guy retarded look? As long as you don't have a pinky promise with actually pinkie pie. She gets an answer from me as I calm down. My sister always insisted I do those when we were children. I can't count how many I had to do in my life. I extend my pinky on my right hand, having the other 4 fingers enclosed. What do you say about it? Tina still looks at my pinky with a weirded out expression. She then smiles as she extends her pinky on her right.
Alright then. Pinky promise it is.
She struggles for a second to position the pinky somewhat right, before our pinky fingers lock, confirming the promise. Back in MC's perspective in the present. The silver smiles as she takes our order and walks off. We were in the back of the restaurant, in the same table I previously sat in with Mrs. Bond. You seriously don't want any food?
I already told you I don't want anything.
After a while of silence, I shrug and leave fate be. Tina lights up a cigarette, places her lighter on the table, and signs. I'm surprised she's actually able to get away with that, honestly.
So, what exactly are we talking about?
Mrs. Bond looks down and thinks for a while before responding.
In the documentary, we planned to include a section about Monica Astor. That would involve mainly you two.
Bond points at me in faith.
Then, a general section of mission action. That would involve Mrs. Elise.
She then points at Tina. Faith narrows her eyes and taps with her fingers. She has her jacket hung over her chair.
Who is we? Central Television Station.
We all raised eyebrows at the revelation.
CTS. Who wants a public trade television? What does a public television? What wants a public television to do with this? What does a public television?
I don't even know how to pronounce this, to say this. I think this grammar could use some work.
What would public television want to do with this whole crap show?
Before Mrs. Bond can respond, Tina coughs to get our attention.
isn't surprising, to be honest.
She then taps her cigarette in an ashtray, killing the remaining fire in the butt.
A little bit of money here and there, some blackmail, and suddenly you're in control of an entire freaking city. That's impressive, no matter how you look at it. And that's where she comes in?
Faith raises an eyebrow as she points at Mrs. Bond.
You can see it, you can see it that way. The station has asked my boss to do a documentary about it.
Faith frowns as she wants to ask another question, but is cut off when a server arrived with the first plate of food. A plate of spaghetti with bolognese sauce goes to...
That's mine, thanks.
The server smiles as she places the plate before Tina and then walks off.
Oh, bloody hell, I forgot my cutlery.
Tina looks around and notices a holder for cutlery. Before she could do it herself, I reach for a spoon and a fork and hand it to Tina with a smirk. Bon appetit! Or, how is it actually? Buono appetito. Oh, I'm mistaken that a French and Italian wasn't a good idea, pal.
A good idea, pal. But still, thanks.
Tina takes the cutlery from me and starts to mix the spaghetti and the sauce. Faith then coughs and looks at Mrs. Bond to continue the discussion.
So if I get this correctly, you want to interview us for a documentary? That's right. That's going to cause unwanted attention.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna raise any problems. Tina just finishes mixing her spaghetti when she responds. All of Aston's men are either in jail or in exile. We just need to be careful, as we always were.
Going into a documentary and spelling crap about people is gonna raise attention from them.
But as I tell you, all of them have something more important hassles to deal with.
So you want to go spout crap?
I'm still icky about
that. That doesn't make my statement less true, though.
Oh boy, this is really getting tense here. Faith looks at the table and taps with her fingers. Then she looks at me.
How do you feel about this? About it?
I also avert my eyes and think for a while. Honestly, I don't know. Faith again taps with her fingers, accepting new information and what to do with it.
Can we get interviewed anonymously? I'm afraid that's not going to work. Why? It's complicated.
Faith scoffs and leans against her chair she is sitting on.
That's freaking fantastic.
I debate over the facts I have just been presented as I twinkle with my thumbs. Even though that difficulty, I'm in.
Why?
It would give me the excuse not to answer questions from annoying reporters.
That's all?
I revert my vision from Faith. It isn't actually, but I don't have the mood to answer that right now. Mrs. Bond smiles as she looks at Tina, who is currently putting spaghetti in her mouth. Before Mrs. Bond can ask, Tina looks at her and nods, signaling her approval. Then, Mrs. Bond looks at Faith. She is currently crossing her arms as she looks at us. Then she looks at me. After staring at me for a while, she signs.
They count me out of it.
Oh boy. She gets up, grabs her jacket, and starts leaving. Wait, Faith! Faith ignores me as she opens the restaurant door and leaves the restaurant.
Well, at least someone agreed. That's more than I expected.
Tia chuckles after that comment as the server brings the second plate of food we ordered and places it in front of me. We're in Faith's perspective in the past.
Swinging the door open, and look around as I step quietly. Maga's currently talking with Amy, while Slavery's doing it on a piece of paper. Julie is reading a book, with a green cover that I vaguely recognize, like the one that the club got assigned to read that they discuss. I still didn't receive any information on that. I don't see Mom and Lana not to get around. How is it with them anyway? Going back in memory into the past, I can't recall any mention from either of them about their relationship. But I definitely noticed that it wasn't exactly the best one. Having the club checked them out, I decided to greet aloud the whole room. Hello everyone. I'm still kind of unsure about how I greet everyone, but I think this will be enough. Someone did notice my greeting, and that was Monica and Amy. Monica smiles at me as she comes over. Hello, Vicky. How was your weekend? I can't help myself but quickly dig back to what I saw in her file back at Jude's title. All the bullcrap that was listed there? Did she really do it? Going over the spoilization of evidence conviction? My answer is most likely. She is still involved in some form of organization or under a powerful individual. If she was able to avoid prison, even all those facts, I have to keep appearances, so I smile back. You can say that was interesting. Can I ask you what went? I'm stuck for a second without an answer. I can't tell her I know what she has done. That would grant me a freaking hole in my head. And do it, that's the show I'm thinking about an answer. When I touch my notebook, that's why I find my quick scapegoat. I was doing research about show. Don't tell. You know, to build my craft. That was way too similar to what I was really doing. I put my hands before my lap and gently squeezed my left palm with my right, trying to be calm. Longer than knots. I'm glad that you decided to get better with your writing. You're doing great. Now, where was I? Margaret thinks over as she looks at Amy. You were talking about the book assigned? Oh yeah, that's also news for you, Faith. As members of the Electric Club, over to week period, I'll read the book which we will discuss at a special club meeting. I think it's a great way to encourage different genres and sometimes types of literature, don't you think? I actually agree with that, so I know without hesitation. I stopped after a while. I don't want to seem too enthusiastic. Yeah, I do think that diversity is important. Also, we're going to read Plague Spring by Simon Morrow, and I have to apologize I don't have it for you too. I didn't know when Amy would get healthy again, and I wasn't expecting a new member. I think you don't need to apologize, Monica. I'm rather sure than sorry again. I think the school library will have 2 copies, so I recommend you search there. Will do. Should we, Faith? This came out of nowhere. Did Monica find out somehow that I know? Is she planning to kill me already? The left hand said in waves of pain as I squeezed it harder than before. I did calm down as I come to my senses. She wouldn't do it here. Too many witnesses. Plus, I don't even know if she really did kill those, what was it, 10 to 12 people? Yeah, I hate when I'm not certain about something. Dang it! Yeah, sure. Both Amy and Monica smile, and with fake smile on my own, leave with Amy. As we walk out the clubroom, I realize I've been holding my breath. I slowly release as an alert Amy. We're continuing in silence until I find one detail I want to ask about. What did you call it, Amy? Flu. It has been torn with me because I have a weaker immune system than most. Ouch. So you've been more ill than most people? Pretty much. I know as we continue our walk. I'm sorry that's happened to you. By the way, you get used to it. You can get used to it after a while. Really? I wouldn't get used to it at all. Why? I'll let my mouth to answer if I stop. I have to guess it's probably safe to tell her. Then I start speaking. I just hate when life is screwing with me and I don't know why or how it started in the first place. We continue while steps revolve across the hallway.
Uh-oh. I think she knows.
Why were you so nervous around Monica? I slowed down to a halt at the realization of what Amy said. Oh crap! You don't have to tell me. I'm just curious. Say every mobster ever. Silence ensues as I try to think of a good excuse of an answer. You can say that I'm not good around certain people. Everything is a fake, nervous chuckle, but it isn't that far from how I really feel. Amy isn't really impressed by my lie. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that's the reason. What? She is either dumb or naively honest. So, dumb. When I take too long to respond to a statement, Amy sighs and then nods to herself. It's what she did, right? What? From when? From when? How do you? Amy nods to herself and then continues towards the library. I follow her. I know that the rumors now going around are quite scary, but I don't think you have to worry. Most of the stories are just shared conspiracy theories that hold no water. I opened my mouth to say I didn't hear any rumors, but then I keep my mouth shut. She probably doesn't have the same information, which she could then accidentally blurt in front of Monica. Or if she associated with Monica and would report me if she knew I knew. Better to be safe.
Yeah.
As we continue in silence, one thought gets repeated in my head. I have to find out more about Monica. I have to!
What the hell's going on? Campfire chase? Huh? What is going on here? What's this about? Our pickup truck squeaks as we stop at a red light next to a highway entrance. A van stops right behind us. The traffic is mostly empty. Only met a car or two. The slightly cold air is ruffling my hair as it
as it swipes to the passengers. I still can't believe we decided to ride in this rusty old junk. It looks like something we ripped from the Vietnam War.
Oh wait, it would. Honestly thought it went back to Tina in the past, but it was actually MC, Faith, and Natsuki. I kinda regret doing that, but anyway. I smile as I look back. Faith and Natsuki are sitting in the bed of the truck on a fixated piece of wood on each side, holding the side to keep themselves steady. Behind them are a couple of bags, mostly consisting of packed tents.
You don't need to worry, Faith. I made sure to pick something reliable.
Manga says that as a voice cracks from the car's dashboard and a green indicator lights up.
Are you having fun? You having fun there?
The voice came from a back transmitter. Manga grabs it and holds it out to Faith.
The button enables you to speak. I know how the transmitter works.
Faith clutches the transmitter in her hand and pushes the button.
Screw you and your stupid freaking ideas.
Victor's. Wait. Was Victor the one that was at the main menu? I don't know. Anyway. Victor's laugh cracks through the transmitter as she returns it to Monica. She returns it to its place, where a magnet holds it tight.
I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. Faith is right, you know. This isn't that safe.
Since when were you such a crybaby? Hey, don't say that to my favorite Doki.
Oh, shut the hell up! This has nothing to do with being a crybaby!
Alright, stop being so angry, okay?
Now, no need to bring the adults out, alright? So I would suggest you stop your expo. Stop your funny business.
Since when you're the peacemaker?
Monica, can you just throw him out of the car? Don't bring me into this, alright? Your arguments, your problems.
With that, silence goes between us. A black SUV is driving to the crossroad from the highway entrance, slowly stopping. The red light on our line is still shining.
Isn't that car supposed to go?
Why do I get the feeling that it's gonna happen? Right now. Fate narrows her eyes as she looks at the black SUV. Monica, looking at the license plate, reaches for the transmitter herself and starts speaking into it.
Victor?
Yeah?
You might have a problem. The black SUV.
Fate freezes after she says that. Then she reaches for her bag and starts searching through it.
Holy tits. You may be right. At least this time. Cut that freaking bullcrap of yours and be serious for once.
All three of us are surprised by Manga's assertiveness. She's rarely like that. Alright. You uptight nonsense. What do you want? What do you want to do?
We could maybe escape them by the highway.
You want to try it out? You want to try out how fast that van and truck can go?
What did I just say?
Yeah. Screw yourself too. Manga then puts the transmitter loudly back into its place and reaches for the gear shift. It wouldn't make sense to make a move on us now, though. Manga stops and takes the transmitter again.
Doesn't matter. I don't want to risk hurting us because some assholes decided to mess with us. Can someone explain to me what is going on?
Manga looks coldly at Natsuki as she puts the transmitter back.
Not now, Natsuki. Are we going to run into a conflict?
Manga looks at Fate after she asks. With a nod, she returns her attention to the SUV. Just now, I noticed that Fate has her M1911 in hand, ready to strike. So she has that gun. That's like the gun she used to scare the reporters before the. Oh man, this is good. This is bad. Ah, crap. My thoughts run like crazy as the light turns green, allowing us to move. Manga slowly starts moving the truck down the road as she watches the SUV. Huh? Suddenly, the SUV's wheels squeak as it charges at us.
Crap!
Manga rapidly punches the accelerator, causing the wheel to squeak as she heads forward. We nearly missed the black SUV. The SUV manages to turn around and start chasing us.
Crap! What now?
Okay, what is this music reminding me of? Manga turns the wheel to the right and drifts into a random street. Both the SUV and Victor's van follow us. Air flies through my hair as Manga picks up the transmitter and starts yelling into it.
Victor, can you try to shut the goddamn instrument?
When I turn around, I see that one chaser is trying to peek out the window. The chaser has a ski mask over his head, so I can't identify who it is. What can I identify? What I can't identify is a handgun sticking out the window as well. Get down! Right, you freaking van! I want to make a jump! Gunshot suddenly rings out. Manga, Natsuki, and I try to avoid it. I don't know if Fate does it. I look at her and want to ask why she is trying to aim with her gun at the SUV. collective sigh, we all continue down the street, relieved that the danger is gone. Finally, we stop in front of Manga's house. Manga gets out of the car and goes to the van. The gunshots are still ringing in my ears as I get out of the car as well. My butt hurts from all the sitting. After a few seconds, I hear someone's footsteps approaching me.
Hey, you okay?
Turn around to see Amy.
She still has her glasses obscure a bit.
Yeah, I'm alright. Amy nods to herself and looks around. She is worried, but I'm not surprised. We only just got shot at and chased.
What do you think that was?
You would like to know too, huh?
Well, it would be real nice to be honest.
Faith walks up to us from my other side, her arms crossed.
But I think one thing is certain. Someone wanted one of us dead.
Amy thinks about what Faith said, and then she shakes her head.
Why though?
We all stay silent as I lean against the truck. Anyone not really wanting to answer the question. Amy raises a valid point. Who was that? Before I can think about it more, I overhear some shouting, coming from the direction of our van. Monica and Victor are arguing over something, while Monica is shooting her hands up.
Is it even worth speculating who was the desired one?
Faith also looks at the arguing and frowns.
I think it's becoming more and more obvious.
Whoa. This is interesting. After Monica and Victor finally stopped arguing, they both have decided to send us home. They also agreed on sending security divisions. The streets we were all living in, whatever that meant. They were meant to arrive in them in 2 hours. Monica then started arguing that 2 hours is too long. I don't remember what it was precisely. Victor was so sick of it that he proposed to just drive us home. Monica, after a bit, agreed to it. We were just like before. Sayuri, Yuri, and Amy with Victor, while the others with Monica. When we were riding towards Natsuki's house, she suddenly said that she didn't want to go home and that she would think of an excuse for her father. From that moment, I should have known that she was planning something. Even her stares at Monica should have raised the flag. When she did reveal her intentions, I thought she was crazy at first, but I didn't want her to be hurt, so I complied. Man, this is getting intense here. And that decision led us all to here. So once again, we're MC's perspective. The truck slowly stops in front of my house as Monica signs. She taps the steering wheel with her fingers as she looks in the distance.
Alright, off you go.
All three of us look at each other. We all recognize the uneasiness in our looks. I then get out of the car, while Faith and Natsuki open the trunk and start putting things on the sidewalk. I help them, and after a while, all of our things are out of the car.
One more thing.
Monica suddenly speaks up as she has her head down. She then looks at us, frowning to herself.
Nobody will know about this, alright?
Natsuki looks at me with her eyebrows raised. I notice that she suddenly shakes her head. Even though that shake, I close my eyes and then nod. You can count on us. Monica smiles to herself as she starts up the car again. The smell of gasoline spreads as she drives off. Faith frowns as she packs up her stuff and one of the attendants takes them to the house, leaving me and Natsuki alone. Oh no, is this where it happens? Natsuki sighs as she frowns at me. Is she mad that I accepted Maga's request or what? After a while, she gives up and goes to me.
Something is definitely happening, but what?
Do we even want to know? Natsuki looks in the direction Maga drove off.
We could try asking her.
I don't think that's necessarily a good idea.
Why not?
Didn't the phrase, nobody would know about this, tip you off?
And don't you think we have a right to at least know, so that we can help her if needed?
Hey, I don't want to meddle in someone's business. If you want, you can. Before Natsuki can respond, Faith appears and enters the conversation.
He's right, Natsuki. She did something, and it's best if we leave it alone. I would like to know what is going on too. But I think it's gonna cause a lot of bullcrap for us in the future.
She actually has no... Faith has no idea how right she's going to be. Because this is a flashback after all. Anyway. Natsuki looks at Faith and then at me.
You know that you're doing the same mistake right now?
My eyebrows automatically raise. My eyebrow automatically rises as I look at her. What mistake?
The same what you did with Sayuri.
My mind stops working as I quickly look at Sayuri's house. I can see through the window that she is currently in her kitchen, drinking juice from a glass. I breathe in as I step closer to Natsuki. That isn't the same situ...
Of course it is! Margo's going through a dark time, and you just ignore her, just like with Sayuri. You told me that you quit not noticing what is with Sayuri, and if you want to better yourself, then don't do the same mistakes. Please, just think about what Sayuri would want you to do.
Natsuki almost pleads with me with the last few words as I go over what she said. Doing the same mistake? Is she serious? What would Sayuri want? I avert my eyes towards Faith, who was leaning against the fence, watching us. She averts her eyes on the ground, clearly thinking about something. After a while of watching her, she looks at me and suddenly nods. Does she want me to go? Did she say it's gonna cause trouble? But she looks as interested as Natsuki is. And to be fair to Natsuki, she is right. But going like this to Monica? I sigh as I look back at Natsuki. You're right that I should repeat my mistakes. I place my hands on my hips as I look down and think. My eyebrows frown as I contemplate whenever going to Monica is a good idea. Alright, we'll go. Under one condition. Natsuki looks relieved as she relaxes her face and smiles.
Okay, what condition?
We'll make it quick. But first, let's take our stuff inside. Natsuki frowns as she looks at me and then our stuff on the ground.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
As said, both of us take our stuff inside and with a goodbye, head off towards Monica's place. Monica's house is just around the corner when I get doubts about her. Who was that chased us? They were pretty persistent about chasing Monica. What if Fate was right, and we are just going to cause more trouble? I'm taking it back to reality as Natsuki knocks on the front door. She crosses her arms as she waits. No response.
Really?
I think that this is clear indication she doesn't want to visit. Natsuki ignores me as she rings the doorbell. It takes me a while, but I can hear quiet steps coming towards the door. Just as Natsuki wants to ring again, the door opens. Before we can do anything, the both of us are grabbed by our shirts and thrown into the house. Huh? Due to the force, I lose balance and fall to the ground. My chin hitting first. Ow!
What the? Ah!
I feel like kicking the stomach before healing a fall. Natsuki has tripped over my body and ended up next to me, a little bit shaken up.
Can you explain to me what the hell are you doing here?
Uh-oh. Monica's very loud question makes us both look up. Monica is frowning the hardest she can. Her left is formed in a fist. The other is holding a silver revolver, ready to strike. I stare at the gun for a good while.
Huh?
Monica's anger brings my focus to her, while I blink several times.
Do you get how stupid a decision you just made?
Natsuki quickly scrambles to her feet and takes a defensive position.
We just want to ask you what's going... And you want to do it now?
Jesus Christ, Monica! Can you calm down? I speak up when I'm getting up. Afterwards, I put my hands forward to signal Monica to calm down. Monica then sighs and puts her gun behind her back.
I'm sorry for yelling, but this isn't the time to talk about something like this.
Get that this isn't the best time, but...
You could have picked the worst, Madeline.
Monica scoffs at me as she continues further into the house and up the stairs to the second floor.
You still haven't explained a single thing about what's going on!
Monica, while continuing, turns her head in Natsuki's direction.
You know that they're telling you because of your safety, right?
Monica almost growls with her last words as Natsuki stops. Monica still continues up.
Because of how...
Natsuki looks to the ground, not really knowing how to process what Monica said. She then looks back at her, anger returning to her voice.
You're not making any sense, Monica!
Natsuki gets even more angry as she tightens her fist and continues towards Monica. Uh-oh. I get up the stairs too and follow them into the room. Wait a minute! I recognize this background! Wasn't that something in A Brand New Day? Or one of the other mods that I've done recently? Zone of Escapism? Still, what the hell is going on? Once I enter, I recognize Monica's bedroom. She still has her tent packed. I close the door behind me as Monica places her gun on the table. I notice that she has her transmitter on the table.
Well, will you answer me? I already told you for your goddamn safety, Natsuki, so stop pestering me about it. Then you can tell us at least something? Monica, believe me when I say that we just want to help you to get through. Well, understand. You want to help? Well, yeah, that's why we came.
Monica looks at Natsuki. Then she goes over to the door and opens it.
You will help me by not getting yourself in danger and leave it.
Natsuki, with her mouth wide, frowns her eyebrows.
Monica, will you stop talking in riddles? It's freaking annoying. Why don't you just spit out what's going on?
Natsuki, can you calm down? Before I can say what I want, the transmitter surfaces to life and the voice starts talking from it. Ashton, do you copy? That's right. Something about... Oh no. I think I just remembered. There was something that was said earlier. Oh man. I've heard the expression about stuff hitting the fan. I know that's not the right way to say it, but I'm not saying that word in the video. But you get what I'm saying, right? Some sort of a weird voice comes from the transmitter. Sounds really robotic. Maybe has gone through some sort of a voice changer. Why the hell would someone go through that trouble in the first place? We both look at Monica, who picks it up and starts talking into it.
Yes, I do. What is it?
Both Natsuki and I look at each other, confusion being clear on our faces. Oh no. This is bad. A black car just stopped in front of your house. I identified its license plate. They want to finish it. Horror runs through our faces as we realize in what situation we are. Monica, after a ride of horror in her eyes, speaks up.
Can you do something?
No, I can't recover. Otherwise the whole thing fails. You're on your own. Monica taps her fingers as she thinks. After a while, her face hardens.
Roger that.
The transmitter cuts off. Monica lets it fall to the ground and then destroys it with her foot. And that's when we hear the front door open, with multiple steps into the house.
Crap, crap, crap!
Monica quickly swears as she grabs us both by our t-shirts, takes us to a closet and opens it. Monica, this is one of the most obvious height. I don't protest anymore as I let Natsuki and myself into the closet. The closet is big enough for the two of us as we enter.
Be quiet!
Monica quickly and quietly closes the closet, leaving us both in the dark. I make out that she grabs her gun and goes over to the door. I can barely see her in the dark, but I can still see Natsuki's wide eyes.
Mama?
Natsuki's voice delivers me in quiet whispers. Yeah?
Do you know what's going on?
I avert my eyes from her, shame covering my thoughts. I know, but I can't tell you. After a bit of consideration, I shake my head in disapproval. Suddenly, I hear the door hit something and Monica hisses through her teeth.
Crap! Ah!
Somebody punches Monica and she falls to the ground, dropping the gun in the process. Steps across the room indicate the attacker is closing on her. Natsuki is brave enough to slightly open the closet door, letting us both see what is going on. Surely the attacker is truly closing in on Monica. The person is wearing all black and has some kind of a ski mask.
You're not getting me down easily!
Monica tries to kick the attacker but misses. Instead, the attacker grabs her leg and twists it. Oh no.
Ow! Crap!
Monica tightly grabs the carpet in order to ease the pain. She then tries to kick him with her second foot successfully. The attacker stumbles and lets go of her foot. Manga gets up and runs for her lion gun nearby. She's unsuccessful when a second attacker, also in black, a bit shorter, emerges from the hallway and rams Manga into a desk. Manga falls to the ground, hissing from the impact, while the second attacker keeps their balance. Before Manga can reach the gun, the second attacker starts kicking her in the stomach.
Ah! Crap! Ah!
Both Natsuki and I are watching from the closet, flinching every time Manga's kicked.
I can't take this anymore!
Natsuki steps forward, but before she can move with her I place my hand on her shoulder. Don't! I don't want to lose you! My eyes dance in fear as I look at her, shaking my head. After a while of staring at her, Natsuki relaxes her posture and nods. As I look back, Manga's still lying on the floor, holding herself by her abdomen, surrounded by the attackers. The attackers both look at each other and nod. One then takes out something shiny. It takes me a while before recognizing the silver shininess of metal handcuffs. The attacker goes behind and grabs Manga's arms. Manga tries to get out of the grab, but a kick to the head forces her to stay in position. Not long after, Manga is helpless about moving her hands as the attacker grabs her by the collar and yanks her on her knees. We can barely see that Manga is in the amount of space we can open to the closet without being seen, but the blood coming from Manga's nose is very noticeable. Natsuki shakes with my shoulder. When I look at her, she nods with her head to the attackers. Even still, after what she sees, I shake my head. It's not safe! It's not safe. We turn to the whole situation as the shorter attacker picks up the broken transmitter and chuckles. I can't determine the gender of them based on that. Then they drop the transmitter in front of Manga and crouch before her.
What are you waiting on?
Both Natsuki and I are a bit shocked by Manga's question, while still trying to get out of the handcuffs. Very growling from her voice.
Why won't you do what my father has ordered you to do?
The attacker looks at their companion. The companion nods. The crouching attacker then shrugs and gets up. Natsuki looks at me with his look saying,
What?
What are they talking about? And to be honest, I'm wondering the same question. A tense quiet spreads until the attacker behind Manga takes out a black wire and puts it around Manga's throat. Manga lets out a surprised gasp, wide eyes while struggling to breathe. Before Natsuki is saying anything, I cover her mouth not to look at the attackers. She struggles to remove my hand from her, but I manage to keep it where it is. After a while, she gives up. We then look at Manga again. She flinches with her hands, pushing against the handcuffs, trying to break them. She gives one last push as she tries to stand up. The attacker behind her noses it and steps on her legs. Manga is unable to do anything. With her face and lips getting slightly blue, Manga struggles with turning her head around. Suddenly, Manga stops struggling for air. The attackers nod to each other as the one behind Manga takes out the wire. Manga's body falls lifeless on the ground, face first. Without hesitation, the attacker before Manga then raises her foot and aims for Manga's neck. Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god. I don't know what to say. I don't even know what the hell to say. I don't know what to say. The last person I expected this to occur to would be Monica. But then again, this mod at the start said that MC and Natsuki witnessed Monica's murder. But I did not expect it to occur the way it did. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the mod. I did. But I'm just wondering when the full game is gonna be done and what's gonna happen afterwards. But now though, Sonic X17 is signing out. Catch you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think down below. And if you want to see more of my content, subscribe to me so you'll check out the rest of my content, and you also check out the videos you see here on the screen. I told you to stop doing that, Monica!